The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Scientists now say that the largest ever primate died out due to a diet change. Here's what happened. He switched to keto and wouldn't shut up about it, and everybody killed him.
The world's biggest cruise ship, the icon of the seas, is set to begin its maiden voyage later this month. This thing is massive. It's like the Mall of America in that it's full of people from Minneapolis.
Care for some chili?
You want an atomic pepper? It's not so bad. It's more tingly than hot.
Are you okay? Because you're sweating pretty profusely.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I always react this way to spicy food.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love it.
5-alarm chili, eh? 1, 2. Hey, what the big idea?
Oh, I admit it. It's only 2-alarm. 2.5 tops. I just wanted to be a big man in front of the kids.
Daddy, are you going to jail?
Happy National Hotheads Chili Day.
Oh, hot, 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 hot.
You're risking a sprained tongue.
Fired up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to start the show.
Start the show.
Yeah, I suppose. Thank you very much for dialing us up this morning, and welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Did I hear National Hot Ass Chili Day?
Maybe that's what you heard, but what she said was National Hot Heads Chili Day for folks that like it extra hot.
Oh, hot heads. I've never heard that term referred to people who like hot food, spicy
food. I hadn't either. I had to look it up to see if it was a brand, and I couldn't see that it was a brand, so just folks that like it extra hot.
All right.
I have an embarrassing thing happens to me if I eat stuff too hot. I get hiccups. It's the only time I really get hiccups.
Oh, wow. Is that right?
Yeah, I fight it as much as I can, but yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, and sometimes it'll be something a lot more mild than it should be.
Mm-hmm. When you eat spicy food, you get hiccups.
Sometimes.
I get gas.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I don't get that, luckily.
How weird is that?
Oh, I sweat my balls off.
Yeah, same here.
And just like Josh, it could be the mildest food of all.
If it like wasabi or horseradish,
wait a minute. You sweat your ass off when you eat the mildest of foods?
Like mild hot foods.
Oh.
You know?
He just sweats when he eats mashed potatoes.
Just a mild hot
you're not
sauce.
drinking water and sweating your nuts off.
When you eat mild hot foods. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't give a rat's ass what everyone says about you in the building, Waffle. I like your style. I do.
Wait, people don't like my style? What the hell?
Dude, be like me and don't listen to what everyone else in the building is saying. All right, I hear what you said.
I mean, it's going to be tough not to because literally everyone says it. No shame. They bring it up all the time. But Nick's right. You should ignore that kind of stuff.
The spicy stuff makes Cubby hiccup. Maybe it'd be a fun idea to bring you in I don't know. I know nothing about food. Someone tell me a spicy food.
Hot Cheetos?
Okay,
That's easy.
See, I think that would give me diarrhea. That kind of thing.
Especially this early in the morning.
I'd like something hot, but just like more real food than that.
Okay.
That would mess me up.
I'd like to smoke a bunch of grass and then listen to you try to read your news report with a case of the hiccups.
I think people would despise it more than usual.
Oh, I think it'd be a riot.
Hey, there's a lot of hiccupers out there who, once they eat something kind of spicy.
I never knew that was a thing.
No, I don't know if I know anyone other than you. I've heard you mention that before, Josh. I don't think I've met anyone else who said something like that. So there you go. For the folks who like hot, spicy food, today's your day.
One good eye Jesus said ketchup is about as spicy as he goes when he's feeling dangerous.
I hear you.
Have you guys ever seen that fiery ketchup stuff?
No.
I tried that once. It's a little spicy.
Oh, I bet that'd be good. I usually put Tabasco sauce in my ketchup, so.
Oh, really?
I imagine I'd like that then.
We get the jalapeno ketchup. That's pretty good.
That sounds like diarrhea written all over it.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah,
or
really
maybe
good.
that's exactly what I was talking about. I don't know. I don't remember it called jalapeno ketchup.
Oh, yeah, we get the stuff, and it's a little bit spicier.
Well, Josh, you're a Chipotle connoisseur. What kind of sauce do you get there? Do you get the hottest sauce at Chipotle?
No, I don't like that
The red sauce?
No, I go mild and corn, baby.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah, you don't want hiccups while you're trying to enjoy your burrito.
Well, there you go. When I was a young man, sure, I'd go down that route once in a while. Not very often anymore.
My wife, basically, the kitchen staff will come out just to meet her with how spicy she likes her stuff.
Just to double check. Like, you sure, right?
As a matter of fact, so there is a friend of hers owns a restaurant, and it's a Thai restaurant, so you can order the level of heat. And I think their 1 is too hot.
Yeah.
And I like spicy food, but for me, the 1, it's too much. But she gets the 5 or a 5+, and so the staff knows exactly who it is when she orders.
Wow. I was at a Thai restaurant once on a date, and they asked you a level of spice 1 through 5, and I go, oh, I can handle like a 4. And the waitress just kind of looks at me and she goes, no, I don't think you can. She goes, I think you'd be better off at a 2. I got the 2, and the 2 was still too spicy.
Crazy Fish Guy Jesus puts hot sauce on hot Cheetos and Takis. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I've messed up a few times at Khan's Mongolian barbecue. How you can do year different sauces, and a couple of those, if you just put a little bit of whatever it is in there, boy, will that get your butt hurting.
It'll get your butt hurting.
Yeah.
Bass Slayer Jesus used to have a great tolerance for hot sauce, got his gallbladder removed, and that tolerance disappeared with it.
Interesting.
When we were young guys, every Saturday morning we'd go to this cafe in my hometown and have breakfast, and then stay there for the majority of the rest of the day and get annihilated watching college basketball and things like that on Saturday afternoons. And there was just one fat-headed dude who would big giant noggin on this guy. That's all I really remember about him, is he had this big fat noggin, and he would sit in the cafe with us, and he was always there every Saturday morning having breakfast by himself. And he was one of these guys that would just pour Tabasco all over his scrambled eggs or whatever the hell he was having for breakfast. And then he would just turn beet red and sweat onto his plate.
Oh, gross.
Okay? And I didn't care at first, but after a while, we all kind of figured he's doing this to try and get a reaction. All right?
Yeah.
There's people out there like that.
Yep.
I mean, there might have been a little bit of a hint that the guy had breakfast every Saturday morning all by himself, but, you know.
Oh, he wasn't in your group?
No.
I thought he was like part of the table, part of the crew.
I don't know how I made it sound that way. No. My buddies and I would sit there, and then there was the fat-headed guy. You know, he was not. No, so anyway, I don't know. I kind of felt bad for the guy. And one morning, months have gone by, and there he is, just windmilling his Tabasco breakfast into his yap and pouring sweat and turning red. And again, I thought, okay, obviously this guy is trying to get some attention by doing this, because he's obviously not comfortable. I mean, look at the guy. You shouldn't be sweating. Sweat should not be pouring down onto the plate that you're eating off of.
Right.
So I decided in my head, I'm going to finally acknowledge this guy. I'm going to give him what he wants, and we can have a all this time, he never said a word. He just eat his breakfast. Right as I'm taking a breath to say, hey, man, when did you start enjoying Tabasco with your whatever I was going to say to try and, finally acknowledge this guy? One of my friends jumps in front of me and goes, okay, enough with the Tabasco. We get it. You like hot food. What's the matter with you?
Oh, no.
Jeez.
What'd he say? Did he ever reply?
Oh, he made it seem like, oh, I like it. And my buddy's like, obviously you don't. Look at you. You look terrible. You obviously don't like it. Okay, but we get it. Congratulations. You like hot food. You're the best.
My youngest son has a buddy who's very crafty. And his parents are as well. He grows his own vegetables.
Wow.
And he makes his own hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah, and he brought some over and he sells it. Right?
Oh, cool.
And so he brought over these little, airplane booze-sized bottles, right? Or something you get in a mini fridge in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, check these out. We're like, to support the kid, we'll take one of each. One of each one. We'd love it. And he went on to describe the process and, how he grew this stuff and what these taste like and the level of spiciness. and then he gave me the bill. It was $20 a bottle.
Whoa!
Whoa.
I got to learn how to ask questions.
Yeah.
Whoa, kid.
That is some hot sauce.
$20.
It took him time, all right.
A kid tried to sell you this for $20 a bottle.
Yeah, my son's best friend.
I'll give you $1.
$20 a bottle.
That is so cool
I
that he
called
does
the
that.
cops.
Yeah.
I was being swindled.
Like a little 5-ounce bottle of hot sauce.
Maybe he knew you were such a nice guy, he could name any price he wanted and you'd still buy it.
Nice guy / sucker, one of the two.
Yeah, he originally sells them for about $5
Yeah.
a pop, but
No.
he saw Josh and was like, let's go with 20.
You're no sucker, Cubby.
Now, anytime he comes over, I have to ask, well, what's this going to cost me? I need to know first and foremost.
Anyway, fat-headed dude stopped showing up for breakfast.
I don't blame him.
Frosted Flake Jesus likes to spice things up in the bedroom with a little bit of hot sauce.
Oh, wow.
Where the hell are you putting that?
No,
Be dangerous.
You're not really putting that on anybody's gear, are you? Get back to us on that.
Yeah, anyone who's
Imagine that.
ever chopped a jalapeno and then gone to the bathroom, they know how that feeling is like. And it's not
That's
good.
bad.
Explain yourself, Frosted Flake Jesus.
I do love spicy stuff, but I don't like the stuff that's just hot for the pain and doesn't taste like anything. And I know there's some people that they want to punish themselves with that.
There's some hot sauces that are like metallic tasting. And it's like, you like that? How?
I had a friend who worked at Buffalo Wild Wings in college, and she would talk about how awful it would be when guys would do the Blazing Challenge. That's the hottest wings they have. And they said the table would be a mess. There'd be snotty napkins everywhere.
That's disgusting.
Because guys' nose are running, and they just leave it on the table. They'd have to go and clean that up afterwards.
That's so dramatic. Those wings aren't even like that hot, really, compared to other places that like really make spicy hot wings.
I don't know. I watched somebody do it. I don't know, Ashley. It looked pretty hot to me. I watched somebody go through it at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was miserable.
I used to eat those like as a regular thing.
Oh, that was just your go-to wing flavor? Was Blazing?
Yeah, I really liked spicy food for a while there, but I had to tone it down because I was getting like ulcers. So
I think their Asian zing could be a little less zingy. I can't imagine going all that way up. Dry-aged ribeye Jesus said he used to make his wings with habanero and ghost peppers. Sometimes he'd tell his guests, and then other times he'd sit back and wait for the show.
oh no.
Now we got, all right, nothing has been texted back from Frosted Flake Jesus about bringing Tabasco.
I'd imagine he was kidding, but
I hope so.
Maybe not.
Yeah, you never know. We'll wait for a reply here on the text machine. Frosted Flake Jesus says he likes to bring, Tabasco sauce into the bedroom. Ass-skinning, chainsaw packing Jesus. I think this is the first message I've ever read from this individual. He says he's icy-hotted his gear for sexual purposes before. Honestly, it's totally worth it.
What? I did that by accident, and it was miserable.
I guess they make condoms that are like that, right? Like hot and then cold.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
You're talking to the wrong group of guys. Well,
Yeah,
at least
that's
Josh
true.
and I. Josh and I wouldn't know the first thing about condoms. Okay, well, first off, before we get to the condoms thing, I also hope that ass-skinning, chainsaw packing Jesus is joking, because I have heard stories about icy hot on the gear, and they're all bad.
Oh, yeah, I had it happen. It was terrible.
Me too.
Absolutely terrible.
Now, what
Frosted
is
Flake Jesus has gotten back to us.
What'd he say?
He brings hot sauce into the bedroom for moral support, so at least there's one spicy thing in the room. Hey, honey, we had hot sauce in here.
Look at that hottie over there.
It was right there the whole time.
All right, now bring me round to this condom thing now. There are condoms that do what? They provide a hot feeling and a cold feeling?
Oh, I can't remember. I believe Trojan has them.
I know.
Yeah,
Dana,
let me check. Let me look it up.
You said something like you knew what she was talking about.
There was an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where this happened, Larry David, where it was supposed to be hot on the outside for the lady and cold on the inside for the guy to kind of help you last a little bit longer. But Larry put the condom on backwards, so the woman got a frozen vagina.
Yeah, they're called fire and ice condoms. So yeah, exactly what Dana was saying.
Curb comes back next month, by the way, on the 4th. Yeah,
No
me too.
way.
Last season.
Right when you said fire and ice condoms, Ashley, I received a few texts from some listeners who knew exactly what you were talking about, and I'll just say that I'm not getting the greatest reviews so far from our listening audience on Fire and Ice condoms. Not the greatest review, specifically from cheek-spreading Jesus.
People are mentioning the lube you can buy that does the same thing. I've heard of that. But yeah, the condoms, that's new to me.
Yeah.
County Deputy Jesus says, welcome to pepper spray. No one enjoys it, and the aftermath when you take a shower reactivates everything.
Oh,
that
pepper spray.
I was pepper sprayed once, and it was horrible.
That sounds awful. Did you use milk? I heard that, like, pouring milk in your eyes.
I didn't have any milk with me. I was at the Mall of America, actually, and there was this huge, basically a riot. This was, I'm going to say, maybe 96 or 97. All these kids poured in the rotunda, and there's this big fight, and there's cops everywhere, and I'm walking out, and I walked through some sort of mist, and I thought, well, what could this be? And then all of a sudden, my face exploded with snot and tears. I couldn't breathe. It was absolutely awful.
Poor innocent John.
I'd get tased any day over that.
Wow.
Any day. Because at least when the taser's done, it's done. Waffle, you can attest to that.
Yeah,
it's miserable when you ride the lightning, like Waffle and I did for 5 seconds. We took the ride. But after that, it's all over.
Yeah, I was lucky I got the choice. And I was kind of leaning towards pepper spray, but then the cops I was with was like, don't do it. You'll ruin your whole day.
Yeah, that takes a while.
That stinks.
We started off talking about hot ass chili day. No, I got it wrong.
Hot heads chili day.
Hot heads chili day.
But it can end that way.
Yeah, it will end that way.
It can end that way.
Hot heads is a nickname for people. That's news to me, news to all of us, I think, that hot heads is a nickname for people who enjoy spicy food. Never heard that before. And the texts are still coming in on spicy food, Tabasco sauce, things like that, hot sauce. Here is a listener. I don't have any kind of a cute name connected to the text, but that's okay. They tried some hot sauce in college that was called Hemorrhoid Helper.
I could use some of that.
Hemorrhoid Helper.
Chugged Up Plumber Jesus said there was a redheaded kid that wore a blue hoodie to school one day, and they immediately started calling him Fire and Ice.
That's good.
Clever. Poor guy, though.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That would have been brutal.
Orton Lover Jesus said she got some flavored lube in a white elephant game around Christmas. Hasn't tried it yet, but she's excited to give it a shot.
All right. Flavored lube.
I've never experienced anything like that before. Anyone here?
No.
Yeah,
No.
just for fun. Because there was a while where we would get random stuff from some sex toy company. I can't remember what it was, and they'd have like flavored lube in it.
Hell yeah! I mean,
Yeah, and so you gotta like try it.
I don't think I'd want to do that.
I never liked it that much.
Well, it doesn't. It's no different for you, Cubby.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if I was a girl, which I've dreamed of being, I don't think I'd be wanting to do something like that.
No, just nothing is better.
Same thing that Smashley just said for me. We've gotten these prize packs or whatever from sex toy companies in the building over the years, and a lot of times there's plenty left over for the staff, so I've brought these flavored lubes back to the house. For God's sake, I had every flavor you could imagine in a drawer for strange women to try on the weekends. I mean, blueberry, strawberry, peppermint, every damn thing. After a while, when you open up that sex toy drawer, it just you get hit in the face by 100 different scents. I just start throwing.
Yeah.
Smells like a candy store.
You don't close the bottle properly. Some of it drips into the it just smelled like kind of like a candy store, or like a dirty old recently closed candy store.
Can I ask though, why would you need spicy lube?
Spicy lube? I don't know the answer.
I'm sorry, we're talking spicy. Why would you need flavored lube
for the BJ?
Yeah, but why do you need lube for a BJ? Like, is it you use it other places first, and then if it ends in a BJ?
I don't know.
That's what I imagine.
I guess I never really thought about it too much. I just thought it was for the BJ.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd be weirded out if someone's like, I'm going to give you a BJ, and then they lubed me up or something. I'd wonder what's going on there.
Do you have dry mouth?
Would you like a glass of water? Or?
Do you have cotton mouth? I don't know. I didn't ask too many questions, Josh. I just slather it on and brace myself.
Well, you know me. I like to really dig in deep and investigate what's going on there.
I hear you.
Hold on, before you do this to me, I would like to do some research on the internet.
What if it's that we found out vaginas have taste buds? Maybe that's why they moved that.
That would be sweet.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, Ashley. Well, oh my God, I just mansplained something to you.
Yeah,
you're the woman. You tell me if it'd be sweet or not.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be. There's like a couple days a month. It wouldn't be great. Maybe giving birth wouldn't be great.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh. We're going to talk today we're going to chat with Minnesota Wild winger. Oh, I said winger. Josh is going to be out of commission here for a few minutes. Just as for as long as it takes to play Headed for a Heartbreak in his mind, and then he'll be back.
Actually, you know what I think now? I think She's Only 35, which they sing in concert. I think it's 35 or something like that.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was just listening to Winger live a few days ago when they played the song 17. And now, at least in one part of the song, they changed the line to "She's Only 35."
Kip Winger, I've been watching live Winger too lately, and he did an interview where he said the line, she's only 17. Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me. That wasn't his call. He didn't want it in the song, but the record company made him do it.
Fair enough.
I think I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I believe whatever Kip Winger says. I don't want to suggest that he did it, but even if that wasn't true, I would have to say something like that.
We're going to talk to Marcus Foligno, Minnesota Wild winger Marcus Foligno, this morning at 8 o'clock. Oh, God. Twice a month we get a chance to talk to Marcus, and he's become a full-on bro.
He's cool. He's very funny.
He is cool, man. And what's great, he's my stepson's favorite player, and he told me when I said, hey, guess what? We're going to get your favorite player as our guy from the Wild this year. And he's like, you're going to love him. He's awesome. And he's 100% right.
That's cool. He thinks he's a big, tough guy. And we'll have him on the line this morning to talk about everything that's going on with the Pigs. Those lucky pricks are taking off today or tomorrow and going to Florida. Not that you'd ever really want to go to Florida, but it is 0 degrees.
Yeah.
In this particular neighborhood.
How about that Florida, Tampa Bay football team, though, right?
Florida will be good for something. The Tampa Bay football team, I can't say enough about them.
I know.
You heard me yesterday.
Do you think Marcus, he'll just say, I'm going to go visit the team while he's there. He's just going to take whatever.
He's going to bump into Ric Flair on the way in. Yeah, that Tampa Bay football team, that's the team I'm following now. So we will talk to Marcus. What else is going on? Any more comments on spicy food? Spicy and or flavored lube? Spicy and or flavored condoms?
I think we covered it all.
Overly optimistic Vikings fan Jesus checked in and said, Winger, he can't get enough. It's never enough.
Let's not start this now. I love that bit, though. So it's going to be a hell of a day. What is it, Wednesday already?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it to the middle of the week, and we just got started. Again, thank you for joining us. We're going to take a breather and come back here in a minute on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Are you, your family, or your business burdened with levies, liens, and back taxes from the IRS? The Biden administration just rolled out an $80 billion plan to militarize the IRS. Let America First Tax Group fight for you and your family. They specialize in settling tax debt, stopping the tax collector before they slap you with liens, levies, and garnishments, and slashing your back taxes. Take control of your financial future today and visit AmericaFirstTaxGroup.com. That's AmericaFirstTaxGroup.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Stupid news. It's a wonderful thing. For starters, what do I have here for you? I got a fresh Florida puke bag for you. Dude got busted creeping around folks' backyards with his underwears on around his neck.
Around his neck, huh?
Where the
Around
hell
his
did my
neck, I
underwear
said.
go?
Huh?
Where the hell did my underwear go? I just had it on. I did a handstand, and now it's gone.
Dude running around people's property with just his underwears on around his neck. Cops in a town called Cape Coral. I think that's where my buddy lives. Maybe he knows this guy. Cops in a town called Cape Coral said last Friday they arrested this dope, a fella named Troy Stewart. He's 35 years old. Someone in town called 911 about a prowler. And when the cops found his ass, he was trying to hide. I think what happened here is when 911 got called up, some neighbors in the neighborhood decided to take matters into their own hands before the police could arrive, and they chased this sumbitch out of their yards. So he's running away. He's scared now. He's trying to hide. They found him in an empty lot, lying on his stomach in the bushes, and he was just like he had been described. He had a pair of greasy banana hammocks swinging from his neck.
If I saw a guy outside my house in underwear around his neck, I don't think I'd take justice into my own hands. I think I'd lock the door and just let the cops do their job.
You know, you live in a neighborhood where it's likely to happen.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, but
that wouldn't be uncommon.
What if one of your neighbor bros comes out and he's with you?
Maybe.
Yeah, then the two of you can go. I mean, maybe if you got to look at the guy and he looked like you could take him. It's all about whether or not you think you can take him.
Sure,
right?
I can't take anyone.
No, you can't. So
I've always wanted to be a third responder, right? You might get a tiny bit of respect, but you wait for the first two, the brave ones, to show up and handle the situation, and then you show up.
We've got mentioned in the newspaper article.
Right. Maybe I even get interviewed. Yeah. You know, heroes thrown around a lot. We don't like that word.
You're just the guy that after, the crime and everything's been sorted, you're the guy that's putting like the caution, the stay back tape up, around the crime scene, the perimeter.
Was that South Park that had Captain Hindsight, where he'd show up and tell everyone what they could have done different, and they considered him the real hero?
It sounds familiar, Captain Hindsight. Yeah, I'd like to go to a ball game sometime, Josh, where before everything gets going, the announcer says, before the first pitch this afternoon, we'd like to honor some third responders. Here's Josh from Egan. You wave to the crowd. He's a third.
The first and second responders were here a lot earlier and took care of the real business.
All right, so this Stewart guy with the underwears around his neck, prancing around everyone's backyards there in Florida. When the cops found him, he told the cops he was exercising. And he said the underwears hanging around his neck was to protect him from the cold. If he was really, pulling his drawers up over his face to protect him from the cold, I mean, that sounds awful. Just huffing his own ass.
Yeah, you got to be pretty cold.
All night long. On top of that, this Stewart butthole was also accused of disrespecting the life and legacy of Mr. Miyagi by stealing bonsai trees in the neighborhood.
Can't do that.
Those are pricey.
I know. I can't believe how much they charge for those things.
Stupid Stewart here was charged with loitering and prowling and inhaling his own bacon stripes without a permit.
You need a permit for that?
Yuck. My dad always called him that.
That's why I dropped it into the story. Because you had shared that with us before. That your dad also, like my own, referred to them as bacon stripes.
I'd always heard skid marks from the old timers.
Guy running around the neighborhood with a pair of drawers around his neck. He's stealing your bonsai trees. We're waiting on the third responders.
The story said they're worth like $7,000, or maybe it said $7,000 in bonsai trees. He took two.
Wow.
Whoa.
I just welled here, Jesus said. His boss is Captain Hindsight. Always tells me how I could have done my job better. I bet that's fun.
That's helpful.
That's who you want to work for.
Those are some of my least favorite people. The people who tell you how they would have done it. And in their opinion, it's always the better way to do it, whatever it might be. One of my least favorite out of this group is the people who tell you what route they took to an event and how your route was the wrong way to go.
That always makes me really angry as well.
Not that long ago, I went to a funeral, and it was a poke. It was out of town. I forgot where we went, Farmington or something like that. It was a stretch. And when I got there, first thing one jackass says to me, "How'd you get here?" And I said, "Well, I took 35 over to." "Oh, you went the wrong way."
It really makes me mad when people do that now.
Congratulations. You're Captain MapQuest now. That's what you are. Captain MapQuest.
The frustrating part is every time that happens to me.
Is that not a legit thing, Matt?
Maybe like 10 years ago.
That's an older reference. Yeah, that's funny.
But probably still is a thing.
I'm sure you can still find it. Yeah. Why not? It was solid.
But it's more frustrating because usually when they try to correct me, I'm like, dude, I just plugged it into Google. I promise this is I took the fastest way to get here.
I have a family member who likes to ask you how much you paid for stuff and tell you how he could have got it for you cheaper.
Oh, that's the worst.
I have no time for those people.
Dumbass Welder Jesus brings up a good point. When you buy a car from LaRusso Auto, they give you a free bonsai tree.
That's a very good point. Think about that.
Yeah, the value is pretty incredible.
Well, you're losing money by not buying cars from LaRusso Auto.
Man. All right, we were just jaw-jacking yesterday about shoplifting. I think Randy Shaver was in on that yesterday about how differently some stores deal with shoplifters. Some of them just don't deal with them at all. We're so overrun with derelicts these days. So here's the deal. It's come to this. Some Target and Walmart stores are now locking up the underwears to try and dummy down the shoplifting. It looks like here from the story in front of me, this new bit has taken hold in San Francisco and surrounding neighborhoods. Maybe it'll start happening over here. I don't know. They're locking up the drawers. Locking up the socks, too. By damn, they are. Also on the list of lockdown items, maybe this is already happening here in the cities. They're locking up beauty products, hygiene-related things, and cleaning products. A Target shopper over there in the Bay Area named Olga Leon said to the local news, "How ghetto does it look that they have to lock up the socks or whatever?" That's what Olga said.
She's got a point. I worked at a store where we eventually had to lock up fishing lures because kids would steal them specifically.
I suppose small enough you can slide in the pocket.
Yeah.
Two of my buddies were notorious for never having to spend a dime come opening fishing because they'd shoplift all of their lures and this and that.
I forget, is San Francisco where they're shutting down stores because the shoplifting is just so out of control? There's some place I thought it was San Francisco.
That sounds right. I believe you're right. I think
like Walgreens specifically, I thought was just getting destroyed.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we read a story a handful of months ago where they're just shutting the doors and saying, it's not working. If I remember right, there was some lady doing a story for television on scene at one of these Walmarts. I'm standing, not Walmart, what did you say, Walgreens? I'm standing at Walgreens where they're planning on shutting the doors. And as this segment was being filmed for television, someone ran in and grabbed a bunch of items and ran out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was the story. I just couldn't remember if it was San Francisco or not, but I think it was.
Yeah, it was San Francisco, and they even had to put locks and chains around the freezer foods and the refrigerated foods and all that.
I don't know what's the matter with it.
That's what the story was, right? They were locking up ice cream?
Yep.
I think that was it.
A lot of people locally checking in saying that Targets around here have already started locking up undies.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I haven't bought a pair since high school.
Right.
That's one of the most incredible things about you.
I like to freshen up my drawers now and again. Last time I went to go buy a pack of drawers, it was at Target. It was only a couple months ago, and everything was wide open. But certain neighborhoods are worse than others. Here's another shopper in the Bay Area by the name of Curtis. He said it would be very inconvenient if he needed to purchase socks and he had to call somebody over to unlock them. Curtis said, "I'd be very upset." You would?
Well, yeah, it's not the store's fault. It's the idiot stealing stuff.
So what? You got to get a 16-year-old to unlock the socks. What's the big damn deal? What are you going to do? Knit your own socks? You can't stand there for 5 minutes and wait?
A 612 area code checked in. No, Jesus or she's his name, but they said, in the Walmart near my college has all sex-related items locked up. Very awkward, and you have to ask an old lady who works there to open up the doors.
See, that's the thing. Do. When that's what I would think twice about it, right? If you want to buy a Walkman or something and you got to ask the guy to unlock it, you're not embarrassed, but you're right. If you got to buy condoms or some 6-foot dildo, you got to find the right cashier to ask.
I somehow still feel embarrassed having the other day it was a charger cord that I needed them to come unlock, and I was like, I don't mean to inconvenience you. I just feel like I'm bothering you, but I need this.
I don't know. I never felt much shame in any of that. I don't know these people. What do I care if they see me buy a dildo or a pack of condoms? What about this? So I'm guessing from the conversation you guys just had, none of you have experience buying the raunchiest and filthiest magazine possible at the gas station and then ringing it up with your gas and a can of chew?
Nope. Never bought one.
Oh, man. For a stretch of time, if you bought a Hustler, and, if folks know Hustler magazine, the cover sometimes was filthier than what you saw in Playboy and Penthouse, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For a stretch of time, you had to slap that sumbitch right down on the counter in front of the lady at the gas station who's working the cash register. And it was, just all this filth face up for everyone to see. Then after a while, they started to put the black plastic over the cover.
Yep, that's what I remember.
Okay, but still...
I remember the disappointment as a young man walking into a B. Dalton or some sort of bookstore, and then that's all that covers... That's all you got. That's all I had, right?
Uh-huh.
Just to walk down the magazine aisle. Hit parader, Hustler,
yeah.
Hustler.
Pretend like you're looking at some other magazines that are nearby it.
I took great pride in walking up to the front of the line at the gas station with the most disgusting adult magazine possible.
You open it up, you're reading out loud some of the story, like the Hustler stories or whatever, inside.
Angry bus driver, the Hustler has stories?
You're referring to the Penthouse letters.
Penthouse, yeah, Penthouse had the letters.
Hustler, of course, is notorious for beaver hunt.
Yes. Angry bus driver Jesus and some other members of the Brother and Sisterhood are saying that baby formula gets locked up. Now, I heard that stuff's expensive.
It is. It can be tough to find, too.
So
here's locked up.
Yeah. The story does say here that one customer had to wait 10 minutes for someone to open up the locked up boxer shorts so he could buy some. 10 minutes, and people are upset with that.
Some people get frustrated, like dry-aged ribeye Jesus, who said he went to Walmart to buy socks and briefs. They were locked up. No one came to help me. He was furious, so he had to go home and do his own laundry.
Oh!
The extent people have to go to.
The audacity of those people.
Waiting 10 minutes to buy some boxer shorts. Well, first things first, what are you in 7th grade? What are you doing still wearing boxer shorts?
I like boxer shorts.
These stores got to do what they got to do. Like I said, we're overwhelmed with derelicts. Target and Walmart and everyone else is just trying to keep from having all this stuff snatched off the shelf. I'm willing to wait 10 minutes. I can live with that. All right, as we've said many times before, some of these jag-off criminals could use a lesson or two on how to keep a low profile. It would certainly benefit them in the long run. By God, it would. Here's a case from over 2 years ago that's just now getting squared up in court. A couple of lowlifes held up a damn Foot Locker. That's very 1980s of them. To hold up the neighborhood Foot Locker.
Been a while since I've been to a Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Same here. I don't see them anymore.
I wonder if the people that wear the ref uniforms like it or hate it.
I thought they were pretty cool looking.
I feel kind of important.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think any work uniform, the employees probably hate it.
Mm-hmm. Not Rick's Cabaret.
True.
Oh, God, Rick's Cabaret. These two morons involved in the Foot Locker robbery were a 49-year-old by the name of Marion Jones. That's a dude, Marion. And his bro was a 35-year-old called Demetrius Kirksey, also a dude. The two of them came up with a plan to rob a Foot Locker store in what they call here South St. Louis, Missouri. And they did. Kirksey pointed a handgun at an employee of the store. Jones stole shoes, while Kirksey stole $800 in cash, and then the two of them cruised on out of there in a motor vehicle. Now, Kirksey was taken into custody a few months later. He pled guilty. Jones this Jones guy, Marion Jones, he didn't make it on the lam quite as long as his partner. 2 days after the robbery, Jones was just settin' in a stolen Chevy Equinox, summers outside a Waffle House. 2 days after the robbery, there he is in a stolen car in the parking lot of the neighborhood Waffle House. Someone nearby called the cops because they believed that they heard what sounded like a female in distress coming out of that stolen car.
Oh, man.
When the cops rolled up, they didn't find a lady in distress in that Chevy Equinox. They just found our guy, Marion Jones, watching a porno movie on his phone with the volume maxed out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he had it going through the car speakers and everything.
That'd be cool.
Just maxed out. Cops ran the plates of the car, saw that it was stolen, asked Marion Jones if he had any weapons. He's a convicted felon who was legally barred from possessing a firearm, and he did have a gun on his hip. They took the gun from Marion. They took Marion's sad ass out of there with a quickly dying erection in his pants, I'm sure. And now the authorities have both clowns from the Foot Locker robbery in custody and ready to be sent away for a good stretch of time. Sitting in a stolen car like nothing happened 2 days prior when what actually happened was he robbed a friggin' Foot Locker. 2 days later, sitting in a stolen car with the porn audio maxed out. It's very reminiscent of a guy that I know, used to know, who stole a car, got in a bunch of trouble up north, could have gone to court and taken his medicine, but didn't. Instead, he came down here to the cities to be on the lam, to go on the lam, however the proper way it's said. And this was his edition, that's not the word, this was his version of laying low and staying out of trouble. He is sitting, he's living in a hotel. One night he decided to go out to his car, and not the stolen car, a different car. Go out to his car and crank some tunes, and smoke some cigarettes, because he was not allowed to smoke cigarettes in the hotel.
Yeah.
So he's sitting in his car, maxed out volume on the car, smoking cigarettes. And a cop walks up, knocks on the window. Hey, we got some complaints. Can you turn the music down? All he had to do was turn that music down. Sorry, officer. And he probably could have continued to stay on the run for a long time. But because he has a problem with authority telling him what to do, he never rolled his window down. He just turned the music up louder and eyeballed the cop.
Wow, tough guy.
Right.
It's so weird to me that to your own peril, your pride gets in the way like that.
It's incredible.
It'd be so easy to go, I had no problem. And when the guy left, turn it back up or whatever you got to do.
You are on the run for a stolen car, which is obviously your first mistake, but now you're on the lam. You can't just, okay, sorry, officer. No, instead he fights with authority on the volume level. And then, of course, what's the cop going to say? What's your name? Next thing you know, he's in the cooler for a year or so.
What a dumbass.
Yeah, that qualifies as being a dumbass, I'd say. This is interesting from Riddle of Steel Jesus. He said his wife works at a popular Minnesota department store, and a woman was ordering cakes, which cost about $100 a pop. She'd pick them up. She wouldn't pay, just walk out, but then later she'd go on TikTok and pretend she personally made the custom cakes herself.
Weird.
How odd.
Oh.
I don't know about all that.
It's like those old commercials for, was it cheesecake? Where it's like an instant cheesecake and the mom would come out of the kitchen with she'd cover herself in flour and stuff to act like she worked so hard.
Oh, man.
Do you remember those commercials?
It rings a bell. By damn, it certainly does. All right, here's something I'm sure we'd all like to be ringside for just once in our lives. This story comes from, Mexico. A month ago, a bride got arrested on her wedding day in her damn wedding dress.
That's what we were hoping for at your wedding, Ashley.
I know. Maybe the second one.
Or the third, whichever.
It's good to have goals, Ashley.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an all-timer to be front row for that? So she and her husband-to-be have both been accused of being involved in some kind of shady extortion scheme. And I can't wait to tell you about the scheme. The bride is called Nancy N. here in the story. Her almost husband has an interesting name. He goes by the name of Clemente However.
Nancy and Clemente.
Well, did you not catch the last name there? Did you or did you not catch the last
caught
name?
it.
Okay.
Is it spelled like however? Like the way?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Clemente However. I've never heard of that in my life. He goes by the nickname Mouse, which is not the greatest nickname of all time. No. But we need to move on from this. I shouldn't focus on the name so much. The Mexican cops posted an image showing Nancy N. in handcuffs still wearing her wedding dress, which of course is hilarious. Okay. I wouldn't climb the ladder very quickly down there in Mexico. The criminal ladder. I would not climb the criminal ladder very quickly down there in Mexico because I have no idea what the hell is going on here or how this all works. As far as the criminal activity these two folks were involved in, I'm going to try to explain this to you. The couple, Nancy N. and Mouse, word is they were part of a group accused of extorting chicken merchants. They're suspected of kidnapping 4 workers from a poultry shop.
Oh my gosh.
There's talk here in the story about controlling the chicken and egg trade through extortion. Dude.
What is going on?
I don't know. That's why I say if I ever went down to Mexico and said, I want to be a criminal, and they said, well, the chicken extortion, I'd say, the what? And I'm already behind. I don't know.
A picture of this bride is up on 93x.com, by the way.
You know what I love about
Wonderful.
the picture? So all the cops, they have their back to the wall so you can't see who they are. Mm-hmm. And then they have the bride facing forward to be hilarious. And then they just have a little black bar over her eyes. I will never know who that is.
Yep.
So these suspects, Nancy and Mr. However, they allegedly have ties to the La Familia Michoacana drug cartel. If you've heard of them, I don't know. Earlier this month, now check this out, Cubby. Earlier this month, that cartel was blamed for a drone attack that killed at least 6 people dead. A drone attack? What do you mean a drone attack? What do the drones do? What do they drop grenades? Does anyone know about these drone attacks?
Well, yeah, I wonder if they have one that can drop a bomb or something.
God.
Oh, I'm sure they do, right?
Mm-hmm. The story goes on to talk about human remains and warning notes being found around town, all because of who controls the chickens and the eggs.
I didn't know it was that serious.
What in the living hell is going on down there?
I don't know.
They need to make a movie.
They blew up a car with it, I guess.
Chicken and egg trade extortion. Kidnapping workers from a poultry shop. Extorting chicken merchants. I'm glad nobody asked me to get involved because I wouldn't even know where to begin. Cubby knows this. Canadians are becoming a problem too. It used to be that they just sat in their log cabins with their mates listening to old Rush records. Now they're out starting trouble with everybody. Here's this one, this Canadian. Apparently he spent a lot of time spreading online conspiracy theories saying that the government was deliberately starting forest fires. That's what he did.
I've heard those before. Like they shoot lasers into the forest and whatnot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The government shooting lasers into the forest. This guy spread online conspiracy theories saying that the government was deliberately starting forest fires. Well, he recently admitted that he personally set 14 of the fires himself. Dude, well, here's the thing. Nobody believed your nonsense anyway. You put in a lot of work for nothing. He goes by the name of Brian Paré. He's up to 38 years old Canadian. He pled guilty to 13 counts of arson, 1 count of arson with disregard for human life. He pled guilty at a courthouse in Quebec, don't you know? Dude, according to the Canadian News, this Paré started 2 fires that led to the evacuation of about 500 homes in Quebec last year. That's pretty bad, dude. the fires, apparently, that he set burned more than 2,000 acres of forest up that away. And this is fun. When you're effing nuts, you don't think anybody notices, but we do. Check this out. Paré denied causing the fires, but local police became suspicious after Paré demonstrated a, quote, certain interest in fire during an interview. When they interviewed him, they noticed, well, this guy talks a hell of a lot about fire for a guy who denies setting all these fires. Just like that awful movie character played by Donald Sutherland in that firefighter movie from way back.
Backdraft.
So great.
No, it wasn't me. But have you ever looked at a fire?
Fire's cool, isn't it? It's so cool.
Yeah, do you guys like fire?
Do you like starting them?
Because one time, that's great. They noticed during an interview that he had a certain interest in fire. They started looking at his Facebook page, is how you say it. He regularly posted about fires.
I want to see his Facebook.
Yeah, me too. He's just naked.
Hey, check out this crazy fire that I totally didn't just start.
Right. He's just naked, sitting in an empty basement with a little fire burning in front of him. So he claimed the government had deliberately started fires to trick people into believing in the climate crisis. I don't know what that means. They then installed a tracking device on his car, which proved he was in the area when other fires started. So he's all done. At one point or another, this Paré whackbag admitted he was the one who started the fires, and his main motivation was to test to find out whether the forest was really dry or not. I'm testing the forest. Is it dry? Yes. Yes, it is. As he's masturbating. Did I miss a story, Cubby? I feel like I'm...
Oh, no.
All right, good.
Yeah, you got one more here.
Just want to make sure I knew what I was doing.
Yep, you got them all.
Sorry, I was just on Facebook posting pictures of the fires that I've set.
The fires.
Man, some folks really hate squirrels.
Yeah,
they
old
do.
People.
I know someone that's the opposite, loves them.
Oh, me too. But
absolutely loves squirrels.
I know both sides of that deal, Cubby. I know some folks who just think squirrels are the cutest little... I got a couple of buddies who a squirrel runs through their yard and it ruins their whole day. They just hate them.
Really?
Get the
Have
baby
they done some damage to the yard or something? Or?
You know, here's the thing, is I've heard some pretty terrible stories of damage that squirrels can do to your property. That's not the case for my bros. It's just, I don't know, it's usually small-time stuff like, he tipped over the bird feeder. Oh, no! He tipped over the bird feeder! You know, so if you really have had serious problems and you hate squirrels, I remember one guy texted years ago and said squirrels completely ate his shed just from the inside. He spent all this money on a shed and the thing just crumbled because of... Then I can understand your hatred of squirrels. But I'm telling you, I got these couple of buddies. I don't know what happened when they were kids. A squirrel bit them on the nipple or something, but it's just the littlest thing and they're just set off. Friggin' squirrels! I don't get it.
I'm getting a little tired of rabbits, but I don't know if I've had any trouble with squirrels.
I love my neighborhood rabbits.
Well, I think they're cute and all, but they do some damage. And then, then I feel bad for them when the neighborhood owl just tears them in half and leaves it in our yard.
Everybody has that neighborhood owl.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the headless body usually.
Oh, yeah. So,
see, I've been
caught just the head, half of a hindquarters.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
bald eagles tearing up rabbits in our neighborhood.
Oh, maybe it's an eagle. I know. I just assumed it was the owl that's loud as F.
Have you guys seen my eagle? Anyway, I guess I'm lucky because my backyard is absolutely overrun with squirrels and rabbits, and they don't do a damn thing. They just kind of hang out and look cute for me. So I've been lucky.
People are texting in. They don't like squirrels at all.
No, a lot of folks, they hate them.
Wow. Beer Brewing and Drinking Jesus just paid $6,500 for emergency surgery for his dog. Had to remove a corn cob from his small intestine. Doc said a squirrel probably brought it to the yard. F squirrels, he said.
Oh.
I mean, You're blaming the squirrel for your dog eating the corn cob?
That's what he is. That's what he's doing.
Love that the vet came to that conclusion.
That's probably the squirrels.
What kind of backwards ass blaming is that?
The original toolmaker Jesus said they eat everything in my shed and pee everywhere.
Pee?
You never seen a squirrel pee before?
Who notices squirrel pee?
Yeah, is it by the smell he notices it?
Yeah.
That's got to be squirrel
I bet it's
pee
just
right
a cute
there.
little puddle.
I don't know. Maybe I'm oversensitive. I got a buddy that his nickname is Squirrel, and I told him years ago that we're buddies for life, and I'm sticking to it. Squirrel, if you're listening, we're still buddies for life. All right, so some people really hate squirrels. Like this effing guy in upstate New York. He's in trouble for allegedly spray painting squirrels. He's been charged with trying to poison squirrels by how do you say it, Josh? Spray painting them red. This guy would get real pissed off at the squirrels in his yard, and he spray painted them with toxic red paint. He's a 63-year-old named Mark.
He's had enough.
He's looking at 3 counts of poisoning an animal for trapping these little peckerhead squirrels and then dousing them in paint before he cuts them loose.
It's kind of funny.
Just the rage is what makes me laugh. Just that, because I've seen it. I've seen that unbelievable rage directed towards squirrels. A cop or somebody over there who had to deal with this guy said about Mark, he didn't want the squirrels in his backyard. They made his dogs bark. Okay, that's what dogs do. They bark.
Yep. You could teach them not to do that.
He thought if he spray painted them, they wouldn't come back. And then he'd also be able to know if it's the same squirrels coming back.
Okay, I kind of like that.
You see the red paint on that sumbitch? He's been here before. Get my rifle.
Yeah, what's he gonna do once he realizes that it's the same squirrel every time?
They've come back. Call the boys up. He was spray painting the squirrels with apple red colored Rust-Oleum paint and primer, which you can find at Menards.
Used it before.
And then he'd set them loose about a quarter mile away from his house. This is pretty cruel. It really is. I mean, come on. And also, you know, folks all over town are seeing these punk rock looking squirrels rambling around town. Look at that squirrel.
That would be crazy.
Looks like he just went to a insane clown posse concert or something. Marilyn Manson. I can't imagine ever putting that kind of effort toward neighborhood squirrel control. But again, I've been lucky. They don't cause any problems on my property. The squirrels, the rabbits, nothing.
Yeah, me either. I guess I'm pretty lucky too.
Again, I just enjoy the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's not misplaced rage, but just because I can understand. If they're bringing your shed down, I can understand you hating them.
It's just the level of rage.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe an inappropriate level.
Oh,
Better than Dana at Mario Kart. Jesus said there's a wildlife preserve behind his house. He's heard the coyotes tearing into rabbits before and will never forget those screams. I've heard that as well.
I've heard coyotes get a dog.
I heard both. When we first moved into our house, I heard that. That was awful.
Yep, hard to recover from that.
A rabbit scream is something that you never forget.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's terrifying.
I'm so glad I've never heard it.
Terrifying is the wrong word. It's disturbing. That's the right word.
One afternoon, my brother and I were hanging out at my house, and he had his dog over, a black lab. And that black lab was pretty predatory. You know, he chased squirrels, he chased rabbits. Good dog, just he was being a dog.
Yeah.
And this one particular afternoon, that friggin' black lab just he put on that point pose. You know what I mean?
Good boy.
Just perfect. It was like out of a magazine. Weep! He goes into his pointer phase, and my brother says, "Oh, he's sniffing something out over there." Next thing you know, he grabbed this little rabbit, and the rabbit started screaming, and we were just. He eventually spit the damn thing out because we hollered.
It's a horrible noise.
We hollered at the dog, spit it out. He spit it out. The rabbit got away. But just that noise was holy balls. I had never heard that full on before. It was something.
Fireplace Jesus, his attitude towards squirrels, indifferent. He's indifferent about them.
Is he indifferent about them?
Take them, leave them, whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Fair enough.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams today. It's 13 in Detroit. Any special plans to acclimate the team to perform in those kind of frigid temperatures?
We play indoors, right? They got a dome. No, nothing planned. We're indoors. We only have to be outside for 20 seconds getting off the bus going under the thing, so we'll be okay.
No!
Poor woman.
Oh, that sucks so bad.
That's good humor.
I feel so bad for her. Oh, everybody in the room saw it coming too.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles. There he is at a press conference the other day. The Buccaneers are getting ready to whoop ass on Detroit this Sunday. Big fat ball game in Detroit. And a member of the media asked Coach Todd Bowles, how did your team plan to deal with the weather in Michigan? Christ almighty. He had to say, well, they play indoors.
Oh, right.
Son of a bitch.
I hope that's one of those things where somebody else ahead of her asked the question she was going to ask, and she had to scramble to come up with something, versus writing it out ahead of time.
I think she wrote it out ahead of time because in the audio she was like, "It's 13 degrees in Detroit right now."
It might have been like immediately beforehand. She just checked her phone. I'm hoping it wasn't something like the day before. She's thinking, "What am I going to ask when it's my turn?"
Do you remember the dumbest question I ever asked during an interview in our career here on the program, Ski Josh?
You have to remind me.
It was that big-time horror movie director, Wes Craven.
Oh yeah,
Wes Craven.
That's right.
Who I think is dead now.
Yeah, he did pass.
Okay.
Yes.
Years ago, we had Wes Craven on the program. He was promoting the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, which is, that is one effed up, entertaining, badass, disgusting movie. Mm-hmm. The remake of The Hills Have Eyes. I like it for all of those reasons. So anyway, Wes Craven is on the line with us, and I'll admit, I went into the interview completely unprepared, and I was well aware of how unprepared I was. We were running late. We didn't have time to really prep, and all of a sudden, here's this massive movie director on the line. And so I'm trying to do my job. I said, something along the lines of the remake of Hills Have Eyes. How exciting is this? Oh, he says, it's very exciting. We can't wait for the... And I said, well, did you like the original? And there was a long moment of silence until he said, well, yeah, I made that one too. And I said, I remember I didn't hold off. I said, son of a bitch, I knew I wasn't ready for this interview.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
It's happened to everybody.
I respect that you didn't try to backpedal and be like, oh, I was just Josh and I knew that. I knew you wrote it.
Yeah.
Please don't use my name in vain.
Sorry.
And he took it in stride.
He had a good sense of humor.
He was all right with it. All right.
That's probably one of those where maybe that was one of his favorite interviews of the day.
Maybe he talked about it in his dying days. Timberwolves out on the road. Tonight they play in, speaking of Michigan, they play in Detroit. The Wolves versus the Detroit Pistons at 6 o'clock tonight. The game will be televised on Bally Sports North. Other than that, the Ladies Pro Hockey Club plays in Ottawa tonight.
Nice. With a
6 o'clock start time on Bally Sports North Plus. They're doing well, and folks are pretty pumped about the Ladies Pro Hockey team. At 8 o'clock, not 7:30, but 8 o'clock, we'll be talking with Marcus Foligno from the Man Bear Pigs. We'll find out what's going on with that friggin' guy. Stay tuned for Josh's news.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What count? Half-assed morning show. 93X.
We did learn that the victim in the case is another police officer, all from the Detroit area, Detroit police officers. And as a result, the interesting part about it is this is law enforcement officials.
This is a wild one is what it is. 2 women in Michigan, one of whom an officer with the Detroit Police Department, are accused of a home invasion in which they stole and destroyed tens of thousands of dollars in property as a means of seeking revenge on a man, also a police officer, who was dating both at the same time. And they were pissed. 29-year-old officer Brianna Cabano and 30-year-old Colleen Compton broke into the home of police officer Otis Funches Jr. because they were enraged, that he was sleeping with the two of them.
Otis sounds like a player.
Yeah, I guess so. Otis, at the time of the alleged break-in, was reportedly living with Compton, but had recently engaged in sexual intercourse with Cabano. Via text exchange between the scorned duo, Compton stated they would make entrance through the window, destroy his property, and get back a chain necklace she said was hers. Other items they allegedly discussed taking included a PS5, a TV, a camera, and a laptop. Compton also allegedly told Cabano she had to remember to buy 2 liters of Coke so that it could be poured on the bed. A third woman, 22-year-old Dana Sears, also a suspended Detroit police officer, was reportedly mentioned as well. Cabano told Compton they could use Sears' truck to transport whatever was taken from the home to not allow anyone to recognize their cars. Sears also was arrested in connection with the alleged home invasion. Apparently, Otis had previously provided sworn testimony stating when he arrived home, the furniture in his living room was covered in a red juice. His laptop and hard drive had been soaked in bleach. The screen of his television had been broken, and his bedroom mattress was covered in a red substance as well.
You think he instantly knew what the hell was going on?
He must have, right? He also was allegedly missing about $6,200 in camera equipment and more than $1,000 in clothing. In a particularly diabolical move, he also testified the thieves took a single shoe each from more than 20 pairs he had in the home, essentially rendering them all useless. That's creative on their part.
Yeah. Come on, girls. There's enough of me to go around for both of you.
He must have been something special, I guess.
Kidding. And these were cops that...
2 of them, well, I should say 3 of them were the woman that let him use the truck. And then one of the women and then the guy were both all police officers.
Oh, man, Otis, he just bit off a little more than he can chew this time around.
Passionate.
It happens to all pimps. Mm-hmm. All pimps have that day of reckoning.
A man from Connecticut faces a number of charges after neighbors told police he dug up their yard and claimed they were pirates. Police said they received a call from a concerned citizen Saturday about 10:15 a.m. The caller reported that their neighbor dug up their front yard with a rock rake and refused to leave. When they arrived at the scene, officers said they learned the neighbor, 62-year-old Mark Uderstadt, had walked onto the caller's property because he believed he owned the neighborhood and said that the caller and her family were pirates. The husband confronted the older man, who began to yell and scream obscenities directed at the husband and young children.
Young children?
Yes. He then swung his rock rake in the direction of the husband in a threatening manner. He had his first day in court yesterday.
He thought that the family in the neighborhood were pirates.
Yeah. And he was digging in their yard for some booty or whatever he thought was down there.
Wow.
But he owned the neighborhood. A West Virginia man dug a tunnel to break into a pair of businesses over the weekend in what local police dubbed the Shawshank burglary. Deputies from the Stafford County Sheriff's Office responded to a business alarm which went off at Auto Chiefs in Fredericksburg around 10:40 a.m. Sunday. They discovered signs of a break-in at the used car dealership and its next-door rival, Car Plug, as well as the alleged thief. They found him right there, 35-year-old Jerry Lee Adams.
They got a car chief on one side of the street, and the other side, it's Car Plug.
Car Plug.
Okay.
Yep. And they're rivals. Maybe they might even hate each other. I don't know. Adams told officers he was an employee at Auto Chiefs who was there to do drywall work and then planned on buying a vehicle next door. However, both businesses said they had no idea who he was, so police detained him as they investigated further. They found Adams tried to break into Auto Chief's front door with a crowbar, but abandoned that attempt after he was unable to get inside. He then got inside the building through a broken garage panel and tunneled his way through the wall into the adjacent Car Plug.
That's pretty serious stuff right there.
There, he snatched keys to a vehicle, a company hat, and a company pen he told deputies he planned to use to leave a note to the business, telling him he was just taking the vehicle on a test drive.
Yeah.
Unlike Andy Adams would not be able to escape this, the sheriff's office said, referring to Tim Robbins' character that escaped prison via a tunnel dug over 20 years in the 1994 drama The Shawshank Redemption.
I want him found. Not tomorrow, not after breakfast. now. Yes, sir. Man up and vanished like a fart in the wind.
Bro.
What do they call that guy again? The warden. He was a douche.
Yeah, he was not a nice guy.
I didn't care for him at all. Police said Adams remains in jail without bond following what they described as a contentious hearing. He had an attitude.
He did, huh?
The Vancouver Police Department said a scammer was thwarted by ice and gravity over the weekend. Saturday evening, a man met up with a stranger to buy an iPhone 15, listed on Facebook Marketplace. The 24-year-old handed over $900 before realizing almost immediately the phone didn't work. When he tried to get his money back, the attempted robber tried to run, but Mother Nature had other plans. A VPD social media post Monday said the suspect hit some ice, gravity kicked in, and he fell, causing the cash to spread out for the victim to retrieve. But while the victim was collecting his cash from the ground, he was repeatedly assaulted by the scammer. Meanwhile, in Florida, a 41-year-old stole 5 boxes of NFL cards, chicken salad, banana pudding, strawberry cheesecake, pepperoni, pepper jack cheese, and deviled eggs from a Walmart. Oh, he's in for a tummy ache.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sounds like a 9-year-old made a shopping list.
Readying himself for a Super Bowl party or something.
When he was arrested, police also found a crumpled up piece of aluminum foil with burnt residue in his pants pocket that tested positive for meth.
Meth, huh?
A suspect with the coolest name in Florida shot a McDonald's employee with a BB gun this week following an argument over a cell phone charger.
Well, it's really disgusting. I mean, if your son or daughter is working at McDonald's and trying to make some extra money, and then they just get brazenly attacked by someone with a BB gun, it's really disgusting how that happened.
Deputies were called to the Brandon, Florida McDonald's for a reported shooting Monday night. Investigators said the suspect, 25-year-old Monty Outlaw, was warned about trespassing earlier in the evening, but returned to the restaurant and shot a person with a BB gun, then fled on a bicycle. Outlaw reportedly met the 18-year-old victim outside the McDonald's before they both went inside to use the Wi-Fi and charge their devices. Inside, the two had some sort of argument over a charger, and Outlaw put a couple of BBs into the guy.
These BB guns are dangerous. If an officer sees one, if it doesn't have the tip, they might not know what exactly it is. It's dangerous for anyone to really carry those around.
The investigation is ongoing.
I can't deny that Outlaw is one badass last name, but what ruins it for me is the Monty part.
Oh, I like Monty.
No, you
Monty
don't.
Outlaw?
Oh, no.
That sounds like a tough guy. Living up to that last name, I guess. Monty Outlaw. A Texas man was arrested after he forced an Amazon delivery driver to drive him to a location and then threatened to kill him if he didn't comply. And he did this while wearing only a hospital gown.
Oh, that's scary.
Live Oak police said the incident happened when 41-year-old David Ingram approached an Amazon delivery van parked at a gas pump. The driver told police the suspect, later identified as Ingram, demanded a ride to another location. At the time, he was wearing blue hospital scrubs as he had just left the hospital. The Amazon driver attempted to drive off while Ingram was hanging onto the door, but he forced his way inside. An arrest warrant states that the driver took Ingram a short distance away and stopped in a parking lot, but Ingram said he wasn't satisfied with that location. He demanded the driver take him to another place. The driver told police Ingram grabbed him by the throat and said, "I don't want to have to kill you." The driver then took him to a house where Ingram exited the van and ran. He was arrested a week ago today. That'd be a pretty scary work day, wouldn't it?
It'd be pretty unsettling in general to see somebody walking around in just hospital scrubs.
Agreed. Amid rough winter weather in Iowa, a man who got stranded after crashing a stolen car.
227, the thief didn't make it very far. He got it stuck in the snow, and now he's out trying to flag people down.
The man then attacked 2 separate drivers who tried to come to his aid.
Oh, my God.
That's how he thanked them. He managed to carjack one of them. Cops in Des Moines said shortly after 6 a.m. Friday, the driver picked up a pedestrian who looked like he needed some help. Shortly into the drive, the pedestrian, 28-year-old Latrey Ware, violently assaulted the 50-year-old woman and tried to steal her car. That theft attempt failed, however, when she took her keys out of the ignition and Ware flagged down another driver. That particular carjacking attempt was successful.
Someone apparently stopped to check on the mail that was flagging people down, and he stole somebody else's car.
One of the arresting troopers described bringing the stolen vehicle to a stop using a pit maneuver. Ware allegedly ran but complied when the trooper told him at gunpoint to get on the ground. Authorities described him as smelling of marijuana, acting intoxicated by drugs, being paranoid, and yelling during the entire trip to jail.
That's annoying.
Also in Iowa, for at least the second time in as many days, police caught a driver going over 90 miles per hour while the state was experiencing blizzard conditions.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty fast to drive at any time, but in a blizzard. The Iowa State Patrol used a rolling eyes emoji in a post Friday on Facebook after a trooper stopped a driver doing 92 in a 70. Most would assume we wouldn't have any high-speed posts today, right? Wrong, the post read. Our trooper stopped this out-of-control driver on I-35 in northern Iowa today. Ridiculous and unacceptable, the department said. On Saturday, they made another post, this time about someone caught going 94 miles per hour in blizzard conditions.
In a friggin' blizzard.
Then in Tennessee, a 24-year-old man was apprehended after a perilous car chase with police, which concluded in a fiery crash. Officers spotted a Dodge Charger, later confirmed stolen, being driven recklessly. Upon attempting to pull over the vehicle, the man fled, igniting a high-speed pursuit. The dramatic chase, which saw speeds topping 170 miles per hour, came to an end in a neighborhood when the vehicle crashed and became engulfed in flames. But the ordeal didn't end there. The driver attempted to escape on foot, during which he allegedly discarded a firearm and an assortment of drugs. Among the items retrieved were bags of marijuana, cocaine, oxycodone, Suboxone, is that how you pronounce that? Mushrooms, and unidentified prescription pills. Additionally, a pistol and a semi-automatic ghost pistol without a serial number were seized. That incident is still under investigation. 170. Woo-wee. Wow. A Polk County, Florida man is facing charges after investigators say his temper raced as vehicles sped past his house. According to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, whose face emblazons a T-shirt Danny gave me for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm wearing it right now.
Nice.
I got my shirt on. The suspect, Eric Proctor, told investigators he threw a beer can at a vehicle because it was speeding in the neighborhood. And then he confronted the driver about going too fast. That's when, according to the sheriff, he said he was going to get his AR-15.
Dude speeds past his house, at least he said he did, and he throws a beer can at him. And then he goes down there and confronts them about speeding in the neighborhood, to which he says, I'm going to go get my 15. He comes out with his rifle, and the dude shoots 3 times, once in the air, twice in the ground. So he's locked up in the county jail. Aggravated assault, felonies, over speeders.
Deputies say Proctor told him he didn't do it, but Sheriff Judd said otherwise.
We locked this dude up. He said, I didn't do any of that. Well, neighborhood video showed that you did. So he's locked up in the county jail.
Proctor was arrested for aggravated assault, and Sheriff Judd had advice for others who think about taking the law into their own hands.
Hey, if you're that stirred up, just call us. We'll deal with it, and you won't end up in jail charged with a felony.
In more local speeding news, the city of Minneapolis is ready to launch a program enforcing speed limits with cameras. Supporters say it's often a matter of life and death. The state Supreme Court put an end to the city's red light camera enforcement in 2007, but a new task force is already looking on how to do speed enforcement legally. In the years between 2017 and 2021, an average of 150 people died or suffered very serious injuries in crashes in Minneapolis, and speeding was often a contributing factor. The city will host an open house later this month to discuss how it could use cameras to enforce speed limits near schools and in highway work zones.
All right, so we're going to go back to that bit.
They're going to give it a try, it sounds like. It's all Chicago on NBC tonight, beginning at 7. The 9th season premiere of Chicago Med, followed by the 12th season premiere of Chicago Fire after that. And finally, from the Windy City, the 11th season premiere of Chicago PD.
Oh, I'm pumped.
You like all those shows?
I love all those Chicago shows.
You got to take it easy.
I haven't watched any of them yet.
No. Chicago Fire is my favorite by far.
But you watch Chicago Med and Chicago PD?
Yeah, they get me. And then they do crossovers sometimes, and that's fun.
That's wild.
Got to be kidding me.
Jimmy Fallon has Jodie Foster as his guest, no doubt promoting the very entertaining Season 4 of HBO's True Detective. On Jimmy Kimmel, Rob Lowe and Ike Barinholtz. Stephen Colbert as Clive Owen, and Deadwood and John Wick star Ian McShane joins Seth Meyers. It's the last call for the 93X Music City Blitz. Listening during the 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. blitzes through Friday. You get a keyword to text, get entered to win a trip for 2 to see Disturbed at Legendary Club Exit Inn Friday, February 16th, then Bridgestone Arena the very next night. The prize, provided by Q Prime Management, includes a 3-night hotel stay and airfare included. NBA star Dwayne Wade, 42.
Sure.
Kid Rock, 53. Jim Carrey, 62.
Jim Carrey.
Former Minnesota Twin Chili Davis turned 64 today.
F me running. You can't talk about Chili Davis.
And as we announced yesterday, we're excited for the opportunity to have another former Minnesota Twin, Joe Mauer, join us in studio Friday morning about 7:30.
When's that one going to cancel?
I hope not.
He's going to talk about a new Joe Mauer-themed children's book written by beloved Channel 5 sports guy Joe Schmidt. Really looking forward to that. What a great opportunity. Some shout-outs in the brother and sisterhood. Happy birthday to Print Shop Jesus from Josh's Hot Side Piece in Rochester, Jesus. Hey, thanks a lot for that. This is going to be in trouble.
Is that really her?
I highly doubt it.
This is exciting.
Happy 16th to Ty from Mom and Dad, California Penal League Jesus.
You want to tie me up with some of your ties, Ty? What movie, Caddyshack?
And safe travels to Beef Queefington, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Beef Queefington, I said.
Where the hell is this guy going? I hope wherever he's going, he's staying there.
He's going to Mexico.
What?
Yeah, have a great trip, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
24/7, he's nude in his unit, but for 10 to 15 minutes a day, he will go near the windows and he will expose himself and touch himself.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
If Minnesota makes this field goal here now, they get a 10-point lead. Had Atlanta on that fourth down kicked the field goal, then this couldn't happen.
And Anderson hasn't missed in 2 years.
So that's a pretty good bet. If you say, do you think Gary Anderson will make this field goal? The answer should probably be yes.
39 yards away, and it's not good.
Hey, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Get her done, huh?
I was underneath the goalpost when Gary Anderson missed that field.
Were you really?
I was behind the goalpost. I was 10 rows up in the stands.
Was he distracted by you two?
I was on the field. I was playing nose tackle for the Atlanta Falcons on that day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Marcus Foligno coming up in 25 minutes, and he's pissed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
About what?
He had this year's salary on the Cowboys. He's pretty pissed. All right. I get so aggravated by this. I get aggravated by a certain specific whenever this comes up. Josh played the audio there from the 1998 NFC title game where the Vikings lost to the Atlanta Falcons. It was 25 years ago today that Gary Anderson went wide left.
Yep.
So that's why it's being talked about again today. And I don't mind talking about, you guys know me, I love talking about the old days. That's all I know. But I get specifically aggravated when folks blame Gary Anderson specifically for that missed field goal. But I want to get back to this now before I lose my temper. I'm sure I'm going to lose my temper. Randy, you were standing right under the uprights.
I was.
And Brad Ryder, you were in the bleachers somewhere?
I was about 10, 11 rows up right behind those goalposts. I was in that end zone.
And Nick, you were playing nose tackle? I just want to recap everything people said.
Nah, that part was made up. Oh. Really, Brad, when you watch the replay, can you see yourself standing
there? Yeah, if you froze it, I could probably pick myself out.
Were you wearing the braids and the horns?
No, I wasn't like that.
Did you have a shirtless Ed McDaniel jersey on or anything like that?
No, I might have had a Viking sweatshirt on or something.
Wouldn't that be something if his shirt was off? That'd be great. A big V painted on his chest. Yeah, it was 25 years ago that Gary missed the kick, and it wasn't his fault. Again, for the 100th time. Longtime listeners have heard me rant and rave about this for years. If you watch the replay, Gary altered that kick because he had to. People have been blaming Gary Anderson for 25 friggin' years. It's time to find out who was on the right side of the Vikings offensive line on that particular kick, because that's who lost the game for the Vikings on that particular day. Watch the replay. Two guys for the Falcons got through that line of scrimmage like they were made out of dust and were right in Gary's face. He had to push it left, or it likely would have been blocked. And he just altered it a little too much. Not Gary's fault. So suck it. People who've been on Gary's ass for suck it.
If Robert Smith wouldn't have run out of bounds twice, stop the clock on that drive,
right,
Atlanta wouldn't have had enough time to go down and score either.
Yeah, remember the Vikings were winning that game by 7 at that point.
Right.
So Anderson's field goal would have iced it. So
I remember sitting in the stands screaming, "Why are you running out of bounds, you idiot?"
Right.
And then there was the knee taken at the end of regulation. We could go on and on.
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Josh found this article on the Star Tribune, and it discusses the anniversary of the Vikings' offensive line ruining that day for everybody.
Yeah.
And then it goes into another topic that pisses me off: the Vikings curse. We're cursed. That's the problem.
Why are we cursed?
You've heard all the stories before. We don't need to get into it.
We're not cursed.
We just haven't been good enough.
Yeah. That's really the bottom line.
It goes into Drew Pearson. My God, it goes all the way back to 1975 with Drew.
Well, if you talk
Pearson.
to the Vikings that played in that game,
yeah,
all of them to a man will tell you that was BS.
Right.
That he pushed off.
Right.
The penalty wasn't called.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Krause is still, to this day, ticked off. He hates the Cowboys so badly. I'm sure they celebrated when the Cowboys lost again in the first round of the playoffs.
Pearson pushed off. I think it was Nate Wright.
Yeah.
Caught that pass in the divisional round in 75. They talk about the 41 donut game against the Giants. They talk about the Bounty Gate with the Saints. Again, we always got to drag that one out of nowhere.
A lot of those old-time Vikings, too, say, and you've talked to all of them, Randy, they say that team they thought was the best
team
of those 70s teams was the team that didn't even get to the Super Bowl that year.
Yep, that's correct.
And the article, mentions this possible curse. So there you go. I do love this little note at the end of the story about 25 years ago today, when the Vikings lost the title game to the Falcons. By the way, the Vikings were an 11.5-point favorite that afternoon.
That was an amazing year.
And yes, Gary had
Randy
made
Moss's rookie year.
Gary had made all of his field goals and I believe all of his extra points during that regular season. I like this last little note that says the author of the article, he was covering the Vikings on that particular day. Sorry, I don't have the name in front of me.
Lavelle Neal, I believe.
Lavelle.
Oh, Lavelle.
He said he was
Lavelle Lee.
Right. He said he was driving down 494 later on that night, and he noticed several purple Vikings flags strewn on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my personal story that I know I've shared before was I was watching that game at Billy's Lighthouse in Long Lake.
Long Lake.
Now it is called, we just covered this recently, now it's called Schmancy Fancy. What the hell is it?
It's a restaurant.
It's a nice joint, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, it's a cool joint. I just can, a friend of mine works there, I can't think of the name of the joint. Anyway, I was at Billy's Lighthouse, and when Anderson missed the kick, I took my hat off and threw it across the bar out of frustration. And the throw didn't go where I thought it was going to go, and it ended up hitting one of the cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, man.
And the guy walks, he's like stirring a big bucket of chili. He comes out and looks at me as if to say, you want to start trouble with me? What are you doing? I said, sorry, I didn't mean to. So there you go.
I watched the end of the 1998 game on a 13-inch TV in the lobby of Hopkins High School after a basketball game.
There you go.
A lot of dads didn't pay much attention to our basketball game that day. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I would imagine not.
Birches is the name of the Billy's Lighthouse. Now, all right, so we continue on here. I won't end up. In the end, I didn't lose my temper discussing the Vikings. What do you think about this, boys? From Deadspin.com, all the remaining NFL playoff teams ranked from 8 to 1. Jump in if you have a problem with any of this. Number 8, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That was rude of them.
Yep.
Number 7, Green Bay. Number 6, the Houston Texans.
I would put Green Bay ahead of the Texans.
Fair enough. Number 5, Kansas City Chiefs.
Actually, I'd put Green Bay ahead of the Chiefs.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Number 4, the soon-to-be-put-to-sleep Detroit Lions. Number 3, Buffalo. Number 2, San Francisco. Number 1, Baltimore.
We can see why they ranked them that way, but I will go along with a little bit of what Randy's saying. I actually think if Green Bay and Detroit played right now, I think Green Bay would beat them.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
If Green Bay and Detroit played right, I know they're not playing each other. But I'm saying I think Green Bay is better than Detroit is right now, too.
Not yet, but there's a chance.
Yeah, Brad Ryder, I mean, I think that's a reasonable thing to say.
I think Green Bay goes into San Francisco and gives them a hell of a game.
I do, too.
I think that. I know everybody's talking about the Lions, and rightly so, but I think that Green Bay-San Francisco game will be the game of the weekend.
If I were one to do this, I would take the 10 points on that.
Yes.
I'm cool
From
with
what
all
I've
that.
seen, I definitely would. Yep.
If this matters at all to you, the Chiefs and Bills coming up this weekend will be Patrick Mahomes' first ever road playoff game. He's played 15 playoff games. He's never needed to be on the road.
Wow.
I think Buffalo wins that game by 10.
I do, too.
Now, they are on a 6-game winning streak, the Buffalo Bills. They closed out the regular season with 5 wins. They beat the Steelers in the wild card round.
Although I will say this. I mean, Kansas City proved they can play in terrible weather, too, by winning the game last week. So I don't think the weather is going to be a factor. I think it's probably more
that they got to go to Buffalo.
Yeah, just the momentum of each team at this point.
Now, back to this win streak that the Buffalo Bills have. Cooking. Bills fans, they think there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for why this team is hot right now. And it involves feeding the pit. Feeding the pit. I'll explain. This is the story. The Bills are, the organization is building a new stadium right there next to the old one, right? And so far, it's just a big pit in the ground. 5 games ago, a fan fell into the pit while partying, and they won. So since then, every game since then, a fan has sacrificed themselves to the pit before every game, and they continue to win.
That's so good.
I love this, yeah.
Whose turn is it this week?
How did they decide whose turn it is?
Oh, I bet the line is down the street as to who's going to sacrifice. It's probably just first come, first serve. If you get there early, you throw yourself into the pit, your life is over, you sacrifice yourself, and then you hope that the win streak, like Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, that was a good movie.
It reminds me of Parks and Rec. There's a pit in that, too.
Oh, yeah. They even wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
Now, also, the Buffalo Bills are 1-0 since Josh Allen appeared in a commercial with someone called Peppa Pig.
Meanwhile, on Paramount Mountain.
Hey, Peppa, go along.
Wow, Josh Allen. What a quarterback. He's got a cannon for an arm.
Sure does, partner.
I missed this, but apparently he's... Who is Peppa Pig? I mean...
It's a popular kids' TV show character, and they appeared in an ad together to promote a streaming service, I think Paramount Plus.
Peppa Pig is the British one, right?
Yeah. I'm actually going to a Peppa Pig-themed birthday party on Saturday.
Of course you are.
Probably for an adult, knowing you and your friends.
No, 5-year-old niece.
Okay.
You know, one of these days, Dana, you're going to get your ass kicked.
For going to my niece's birthday party?
One of these days.
So, themed, are you going to dress up, or are you going to be a cool uncle?
Well, it's no sense, Josh and Alan and Peppa Pig are pals. I'm just going to wear a Josh Allen jersey to the Peppa Pig party.
Oh, that's cute.
I wonder what you'd look like in Bill's gear.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's all you own.
Pretty much.
By the way, there is another snowstorm headed to Buffalo, according to what I read last night. And they play what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
5:30.
Sunday?
They're the last game of the day, of the weekend.
There is another snowstorm headed in that direction. Don't know if it's going to... They say another one of these deals where it could be 1-2 feet of snow.
Boy.
I love this now, so
Will Taylor have to dig her way to a seat?
Stop it with the Taylor.
I hope she goes through the table in the tailgate.
Wouldn't that be something?
Maybe they'll sacrifice her in the pit.
She has to go, doesn't she? I mean,
she'll be there.
She'll be there.
Yeah, she'll
Definitely.
be there. Are you
What
kidding?
the hell is with this text message says Josh Allen is a baby back bitch.
That's so nice.
I don't know about that.
Are we the only road game she didn't go to this year?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Once they started becoming a thing, right?
What's she got against us?
Everything.
Enough with this.
Just trying to get them all fired up.
Yeah, now I'm going to be thinking about that.
I love this. I love this now. You know, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers ended the Philadelphia Eagles season. What was that, Monday?
Yeah.
2 days ago? I love this. There were quite a few Eagles fans at the ballpark down there in Florida. An Eagles fan got chased out of Tampa's ballpark by security after he dumped his popcorn on the head of the Eagles head coach after the game was over.
You're done, Nick! You're done, Nick! You're done! You're done, Nick! You ain't leaving nowhere! Get your ass over here! Hey, you better move fast!
A year ago, that guy didn't have to buy a beer anywhere in Philly, and now the fans are dumping popcorn on his head as he's walking away from a playoff loss. That's hilarious.
It seems he aimed pretty well, too. You can't really see the popcorn hit the guy, but it seems like he got it right on top of him.
What's his name? Nicky something or another? Nicky
Sirianno.
Santoro or something? The Eagles' Jason Kelsey is retiring. Fair enough. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
I think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like such a sweet guy.
I understand.
He's a Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah.
Don't let the door.
Okay. He's not like his brother.
Yeah, he's
not
different.
at all.
God.
He's a lot different.
It
Not
doesn't
even
matter.
close.
Guilt by association.
Oh, my God.
You
They have
and
the
I
same
both come
blood.
from families where you'd hope that wouldn't be true. You
Yeah,
can't do that to the
exactly.
Kelseys.
Oh!
I think you'd like him.
Not going to do it.
And the word is that Travis is going to retire either after this season or next year.
Don't let that door hit you in the ass.
That one I'm
Just
okay
saying.
with.
I'm just saying.
He's got more important things to do now, like hang out with Taylor Swift.
And here we are back with the Taylor Swift now.
Oh, let's go back again.
But will she want to hang out with him after he's retired?
That's my question.
Oh, he's hanging around home.
Question.
I'm just saying.
He's gonna retire because he's so whipped, and then he's gonna start hanging out with her all the time.
Yeah, she's not
and
gonna
then,
like
and
that.
then 9 months from now, she's gonna be like, "What did I do?"
Right.
And then she's gonna write a song about him and break up, and then Travis is gonna come back and play football.
I haven't heard a guy. I haven't heard a guy accuse another guy of being whipped in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too.
That's
good.
Save that tape. That's what's gonna happen in the next year.
You're friggin' whipped, Brad Ryder. So she's going to leave him when he's no longer a player? What'd you say?
I said he's going to retire.
Uh-huh.
They're going to keep dating. He's going to be hanging out with her all the time.
Oh.
She's going to, at some point, say,
news.
what did I do here?
Right.
She's going to dump him, write a song about him, and then he's going to come back and play.
Big dumb oaf hanging around all the time. I bet he's one of those guys that thinks farts are hilarious. You're right? And I can see, Brad, I'm with you now that you mentioned it. I bet he's just a big dummy, and she's going to say, I can't be around you all the time with the farting. And farts aren't funny, and she's going to leave him.
What do you mean I can't go to a game every Sunday and be seen by 50 million people? Okay, I don't need you anymore.
Right, you start dating Kip Winger.
Right, yeah.
She'd be lucky.
Randy Shaver, you seemed worried about this yesterday. Mike Tomlin he says he's gonna stick around and he's gonna coach next year. Football for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was a little bit surprised. It didn't seem like he was very happy.
No, he was all pissy after the stinking
This
game.
is really going to be an interesting offseason for head coaches because there is a lot of chatter about a lot of different jobs, and we still don't know if the Philly coach is back or not, depending on how that thing, and the Dallas coach for that matter, those two scenarios are still up in the air. So,
You wonder if Belichick is going to wait and see what happens in Dallas.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's a good fit for Belichick. I think sometimes when you're friends with guys like he and Jones are friends, so sometimes that doesn't necessarily work. And Belichick is so stuck in his ways, right? I mean, he wants to be in charge, and with Jerry Jones, that's just not possible.
I think he's got a small window to coach, though, and I think that he's probably looking at, okay, in the next 3 to 4 years, where can I win quicker?
No, I agree.
And I think Dallas, he could win quicker.
I don't know, boy. They've got that
Atlanta
playoff gloom every year. I don't know.
You could have Bill Belichick just be the coach, and then Jerry Jones could do all of his press conferences. He would love that.
Yeah, probably.
Timberwolves are out on the road tonight. They play in Detroit against.
The game will be over at the end of the first quarter.
Pistons. 6 o'clock. You think by 7 p.m. it's over?
I think it's over by 6:45.
It'll be televised on Bally Sports North. Yeah, the Pistons
Let's put it
have
this way.
only.
It better be over by 6:45.
They won their last game.
Who'd they beat?
I don't know, but I did see that they won. I forget who they beat.
You see, Randy, they're hot.
They're not.
They're 4-36.
Yeah.
They're on a win streak.
They're not.
They've only won four games.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're on pace to win 8.
I'll tell you what.
What was the worst Wolves season? Was it 11 wins?
It's 11 or 12, I want to say.
Gosh, could they even? They might threaten.
Really?
that.
They didn't even get into the teens?
I think there was a year where they only won like 12.
I want to say their lowest win total was in the teens.
Yeah, you're right. Like 16,
Yeah.
something like that. Somebody should look that
I'm
up.
looking up.
2014, 2015, they had 16 wins.
Yeah, that's right. I was there. I remember every one of those.
Missed the playoffs for the 11th.
91, 92, they had 15 wins.
But they just narrowly missed the playoffs, right, Wapple?
Yeah,
That
narrowly.
was the year Flip used to tell us all kind of internally and not externally. He would say, you either got in this league, you either got to be really, really bad or you got to be really, really good.
Yeah, there's no in between.
Nope.
The Pistons, this Pistons team could easily threaten not getting to that number.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah, like Brad said, they're on pace for 8 right now.
Yeah.
We're halfway through. More than halfway through, aren't we, with the NBA season?
Well, they played 40, so they're about halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So Wolves Pistons tonight. So what you guys are basically saying is you lose this game, you take it to your effing grave.
Well,
you take two
not
steps,
the
you
way
come
this-
back, you're
The thing
effing
is with
grave.
the Wolves, they've built enough equity right now. If they have a couple of stinkers, I don't think anybody's going to jump off the bandwagon or anything.
Right.
But they better not lose.
I will say this, though. Oklahoma City and Denver are starting to play, even though they've lost a couple of games here lately. Those teams are playing better. And this division race is not over by a long shot. There's a good chance that those teams are going to be right there when it's all said and done.
There's only 2 games between the top 4 teams, so you're a losing streak away from going from 1st to 4th in a hurry.
Hey, here's a text message from a listener who says the Pistons are tanking for Caitlin Clark.
Man.
Did you guys see this Russell Westbrook dust up at Target Center from the other night?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I did.
Is this on our
I saw
website?
this.
Yes.
On our website, appreciate that. There, I went to the game the other night. Who were they playing? Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Westbrook is now an LA Clipper. I can't keep track of that dude sometimes. But so they're warming up. Westbrook is warming up. And he tried to pull the old say it to my face move on a Wolves fan, and it backfired. In the video, Westbrook, he's warming up there, and there's a fan in the distance saying something to Russell, heckling him. And Russell's doing the whole, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And the fan continues to heckle. And so Russell says, well, why don't you come over here and say it to my face? And I give a lot of credit to this fan. He did. He got out of his seat. He walked up to the court. And the fan, wearing a Carl jersey, said, what it looks to me, it looks like the fan said to Russell Westbrook, you stink at basketball. He walked right up with no fear at all and says this to Russell Westbrook. And Westbrook said something like, you better sit down, sit your ass down. That was a lot of fun to watch. Check it out on our website. I don't know if the dude got thrown out or not. Because, he probably did. The NBA coddles these effing guys like they're children now. Mm-hmm. They can't have someone just say a little bit of something to them without, oh, God, security rushes in. I understand when it's nasty stuff, but they even get security on your ass now for, at least they'll get the security, at least eyeball you. Even if you suck, that'll even get you eyeballed these days, which is too bad.
He got to Westbrook. He was pissed, man.
Yeah, Westbrook really did take it personally, didn't he?
Well, this is cool. Okay, maybe not so cool. Catfishing Jesus texted in. He's a massive Wolves fan. He goes to all the games, sends me pictures. He poses he gets to meet the players after the ball games. He's a big deal in this town, Catfishing Jesus. And he mentioned that former Timberwolf Nate Knight plays for Detroit. And I would love to see Nate Knight on the floor tonight, but apparently he's on the G League team right now. And he has a good question. How on earth is Nate Knight not on the Pistons roster with how bad they are? Good question.
That's true.
I like Nate Knight. He was fun to watch. Seemed like a nice guy. What else is going on as we wait for...
Speaking of guys that you may not... I saw Luke Longley at that Bulls reunion. You know, when they put
missed
that
the
team
Bulls
in.
reunion.
Oh, my God, Nick. You wouldn't... He looked like the caveman from the caveman commercials.
Okay, I got to look this up.
You know, with the beard and the long hair.
Yeah.
I did not recognize him. And those guys are all way older now, right? I mean, they don't look like they did back in the day.
Okay, well, the big question I have is I forgot all about the Bulls reunion. They're doing a Ring of Fame.
They put that team in their Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Right, and they had the entire 96, 97 team amongst...
Except for Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah. What?
So everybody was there except for Jordan and Pippen.
They didn't show up?
No.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Because they're feuding because...
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they just didn't even... Neither one of them showed up.
One of them could have said, you go, and I won't go. You know, at least one of them show up.
They both did video things where they taped videos.
That had to have been really disappointing for the fans.
Yeah.
That had to have been really ridiculous and
The
disappointing.
big story of the night was the booing of Jerry Krause and his wife was there, and she's crying.
That was so sad.
Because the fans booed Jerry when they announced his name, and
the guy's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
This poor woman is bawling her eyes out because they're booing her. I mean, it's just awful.
It was brutal.
That sucks. I'm trying to find a picture of Luke Longley.
Luke Longley, I was like, "What in the world?"
I don't see him. Someone maybe can find that for me. Luke Longley at the Bulls reunion.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Hello, Marcus Foligno. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show.
How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing good. What are you up to?
Not much. Just getting ready for the day, getting ready to go to the rinks here soon, and then leaving for Tampa later today for a little 3-game road trip. So.
Oh, what a nightmare for you, huh?
It's tough to leave this weather for a little bit warmer weather, I know.
5 below zero, and you get to go to Florida for a few days. Well, I don't know, and then you end up in Carolina. You're going to get a suntan.
Oh, I wish we had a couple of days. Unfortunately, it's a back-to-back, but I'll take it.
Is it Lightning, then Panther?
Yeah. Thursday, Friday. Then we got to go to Carolina, and supposedly Carolina's freezing, so.
Oh, okay. Well, it can't be this damn cold, though.
No.
Well, there you go.
No, nothing's like this. This is the end of the year. I think the world is ending tomorrow. So.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad, Randy. Wait a minute, Randy.
Yeah, next week is going to be almost 40, though.
Okay, see, Randy Shaver, don't try to act like a tough guy in front of the NHL player. Okay.
I hate this weather, but I'm just saying this is so unusual. Next week is going to be in the 30s, almost 40 degrees.
We're gonna brown lawns again by this time next week.
Yeah, it's brown
lawns. The leaf blower guy's gonna be back.
Oh yeah,
he is. You're right.
Randy Shaver, you don't have anything to prove to Marcus Foligno. He knows that news anchors are tough guys too.
Oh yeah,
okay.
They are.
Well, Marcus, we were talking a bunch of football and basketball here before we had you on the air. Football and basketball. If we were to start a beer league team for either, which would you be more valuable as a team member, football or basketball?
I'm going with football.
Yeah,
football for sure.
Knocking some dudes out.
I think I broke an ankle playing basketball when I was younger, and that was the end of it for me. I rolled my ankle, and I said, "This isn't the sport for me." So, no, it was one of those. No one's around you, and you just roll your ankle just because you're just, that sport to me. I watched it live, and I'm like, these guys are monsters too, and they move the way they do. It's pretty amazing. But the shooting, the dribbling, all that stuff, that's not my cup of tea. It's why I'd rather play football.
All right.
I played in high school tight end, so it was fun playing that position.
All right, yeah, tight end. I could see you, having the guts to go over the middle and all that.
Were you a blocking tight end or a receiving tight end?
Yeah, I was mostly blocking, that's for sure. I had that one route where you go through the middle and you got to look over your shoulder for the ball, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is the stupidest play ever. But I've seen these guys do it, and hey, man, it's up to the coaches on that call. But it was a lot of fun, and I think playing football made me realize all the positions even more, and now watching it, it's been a blast having played it. So. Definitely watch more football than basketball anyways.
I hear you. Yeah, you watch the playoffs over the weekend. Everyone's iffy. I know you've got an occupation yourself, but do you get a chance to watch any of the football games? Do you give a rat's ass one way or the other who wins these ball games?
You know what? I'm a little bit of a Bills fan. If it was Vikings first,
here we go.
But being a Buffalo boy, I definitely want to see the Bills do well. So to see the way Josh Allen played was pretty sweet. But we'll see what happens next with them. I know they're hosting KC, so that's usually been a tough game for them. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not. Buffalo's supposed to get more snow too this week, so that's even worse. So I don't know. That place needs a dome over a roof over its arena fast here. So
we don't need any more domes, man.
You know what? Though I just don't understand how a place like Buffalo doesn't have an indoor arena. Like, who wants to see Josh Allen slide in the snow and like on those crazy snow games they have? Like, I don't know. I feel like Buffalo fans have gone through enough. They need something that's just nice, warm, perfect field conditions, comfortable, yeah.
Well, they warm themselves up by jumping through tables that are on fire.
Falling into the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing what alcohol can do to the body.
Yeah, see, before I asked you, or how do I say this? When I was asking you that football question, I forgot that you had already mentioned once before on our show that you went to a couple of Bills games back when you were playing for the Sabres. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. They were mandatory team bonding trips. It felt like it. It was like a whole team had to go out there and do the home opener. Oh man, if it was a Monday night, 8:00 start. That was a long day. So it was a blast though, and I mean the crowd's awesome there. So it was a lot of fun attending those games.
Is there a little bit of Bills fans and Sabres fans? I mean, do they maybe tailgate a little more wild than around the rest of the league, or is that kind of exclusive to the Bills?
No, I mean I think it's more majority. I mean, I've seen when I was younger. I mean, I've seen the Buffalo Sabres in playoffs, and I mean around the rink it's pretty wild on playoff games. But I don't know. I haven't been to a tailgate quite like the Bills. It's just, I mean, it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m. or even the day before to when they play. It's just crazy. Everyone's cooking, everyone's drinking, and they're not that ruthless. They're not like Eagles fans or anything like that, from what I've heard. So it's more of an enjoyable experience if you're a visitor, and it's a blast. So.
For a while there, we'd hear stories where they basically filming adult movies. Remember those, Nick? That's how it kind of started. I mean, or meaning like the popularity or how infamous they became because of stuff like that, and obviously the tables.
That was the first Buffalo Bills tailgate video that we watched years ago where we said to ourselves, oh, these folks actually might be different. There was sex going on right there in the parking lot.
Yeah. It was behind a dumpster.
Oh, that's romantic.
Classy.
Behind a dumpster?
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of things going on there. I can tell you that.
Dad, how'd you meet Mom?
How was I conceived?
Yeah.
But, Josh asked, we're talking with Marcus Foligno, of course, from the Minnesota Wild. Josh asked, if Sabres fans bring that same energy. Tell me if anyone agrees with me. Unfortunately, when a hockey club gets a new arena, sometimes it takes a little bit of the fire out of the Buffalo Sabres, when they played in the old auditorium, there was something that arena was just mental in the playoffs, and it was this old, stinky hockey rink. Look at old Chicago Stadium,
right.
Met Center. Yeah. You can even go college hockey. The old Mariucci was a prison break.
It was a prison break.
And they got the fancy new arena, and it kind of, people kind of adapt their behavior to their environment. I mean, the first time I walked into the new Mariucci, I said, this place is almost too nice to vomit on. You know what I mean?
I have a theory on that, though, Nick. I think, new stadium means much higher ticket prices.
Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. And you get, unfortunately, a higher class of person.
It gives teams an excuse to raise ticket prices.
Yes.
So anyway, that's my take on that.
No, I remember. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's something that you get a little too comfortable too with all these new flashy arenas. It's not the same environment, the hostile environment that you get from these old arenas that brought out so much of that. So I remember the odd. Oh my God, that place was in Buffalo. That place was insane. I felt like you were on top of the ice. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was kind of if you sat in the upper part of the arena, it was like straight up. There was no real, there was like not an even grade as the seats went up. It was just straight up in the air.
Yeah.
So it was like you were in an
if you slipped
octagon.
if you slipped on popcorn grease on those stairs, you were coming right down. That they didn't really care for your safety. There's no hand railing going up. Like just get up there, sit there, and make as much noise as you can.
No, it was enter at your own risk type of an environment. Yeah, a carnival-like atmosphere at the Odd. Oh man,
exactly.
And so back to the Buffalo Bills and your Buffalo past. They had to they had to postpone the playoff game, move it to a couple days later because of that unbelievable. Now, we know something obviously about winter weather around here, but the video of the weather in Buffalo when they had to cancel that football game was quite ridiculous. How many of those 2-foot, 3-foot type storms did you have to dig yourself out of when you were living in upstate New York?
Oh, we always, I don't know, from what I remember, it's always been like every year there's one. And then obviously I remember the biggest one was when I was there, I believe it was 9 years ago now, when they had the snow wall. Like we lived downtown on the waterfront, and if you were in that Orchard Park, Hamburg area where the stadium was, from downtown you would see this snow wall. It was honestly looked like this wall. It looked like the world was ending over there. But and downtown Buffalo probably had like 2 to 3 inches, that's it. And then you go 20 minutes into that area and it was, 6 feet of snow. Yeah. It's just the lake effect. And yeah, it would happen, at least once this winter season. I mean, you just got that big dumping where, you open the back door and people got the snow fridge with all the beer sticking in it. That's probably, that was normal. So it was, that happened at least once a year there. It's pretty crazy.
Like that, what was that show on HBO again, Josh, with the wall?
The Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yes, the frozen wall.
Yeah.
The northern wall.
Friggin' wall.
That's what it looked like. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you boys got a win the other night against the New York Islanders, and your goaltender finally skipped past Patrick Waugh, and now he's second all-time in goaltender victories. You guys must have had a hell of a party post-game for that one.
You know what? We have something set up for him, I think, after the Pittsburgh Penguins game when we play at home, because that's going to be the celebration of his 1,000th game. But we did go for beers after the game for sure.
Yeah,
it was one of those where we all looked at Flower and we just said, "Hey, where are we going tonight?" So it was awesome. We had a full team out, and he was pretty pumped about it. So it was definitely weight off his shoulders now, and we were able to celebrate him and his big milestone achievement. And it was a good team win, and we're just so happy. I mean, just to be a part of that, it's pretty cool. We know we obviously didn't get all the wins with Minnesota Wild, but to be a part of it and to be a part of his career, unbelievable guy off the ice, and the way he's been, he played great last game, and he's been great this year as well. But just an unreal goaltender, but even better guy. So it was awesome to celebrate him.
Is that the biggest event that you've ever been a part of, or biggest moment in hockey?
Yeah,
somebody
like a
sets
landmark
record
game.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest for you?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, from achievements from a personal standpoint, that was probably one of that is the biggest one I've seen. I mean, even growing up as a Patty Waugh fan, it's pretty crazy that I'm playing with a guy that just passed his record. So it's just everyone was it was insane. We got guys like Brock Faber, young guys that were like, after the game, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm playing with this guy." They're still shaking their head like it's just like they're kids, right? They're playing with this guy on NHL, Nintendo or whatever, Xbox. So it's really cool to see and be a part of, and it's even better seeing how much everyone in the room appreciates it.
Is this what you're referencing a minute ago, Marcus Foligno? February 9th against the Penguins will be Marc-Andre Fleury night at the rink.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's going to be the night where we celebrate his 1,000th milestone, and obviously the 552 wins. So I think it'll be a pretty big celebration.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
it'd be a pretty sweet game to go to if fans are thinking about it.
When is there going to be a Marcus Foligno night at the ring?
Yeah, really.
You know what? Yeah, I keep asking Aaron Sickman, but he doesn't.
He doesn't know.
You know what? If I were Sickman, my reply would be every night is Marcus.
Every night, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's probably pushing for Aaron Sickman night.
I'll get to 1,000 games in the Wild sweater, and we can celebrate that. But that's a couple years from now.
Well, I would expect we'll get free tickets to Marcus Foligno night.
I hope so. I would hope so.
And post-game events, too, for sure.
Oh, post-game.
Oh, wow.
Well. After party.
Well, Dana just woke up.
Yeah. All right. Now we're talking.
Forget the game.
Yeah. Will you play wingman for any of us at the bar afterwards? Can you imagine that?
We thrive in the post-game environment.
Yeah.
We do.
It's weird. You get more energy that way sometimes, It's just some guys on the ice, and then after the post game, it's just like, wow, if you played like this with this energy.
If you put this kind of effort into the action, the effort you're giving here post game is more so than you give on the ice. If you can flip flop that, that's great. That's great. Look at the work this guy's doing post game with the ladies. All right, you know who else plays tonight? Marcus Foligno, the Ladies Pro Hockey Club, plays in Ottawa tonight with a 6 o'clock start on Bally Sports North Plus. Do you know any of the gals on that roster?
Yeah, you know what? I know Sophia Cunnin. She's my ex-teammate Luke Cunning's wife.
Sure.
So we got to know her pretty well. I met Taylor Heisey a couple weeks ago. She's a great girl. Yeah. Obviously a heck of a player, too. I mean, wow. So
she's a superstar.
Kendall Coyne, and, when I actually first came to Minnesota, we actually had Lee Steckline come and practice with us usually once a year. So that was pretty cool to see her again. And she had a long career, too. So, yeah, a couple of girls now that follow their career and obviously starting to follow them again. But we went to the game, the home opener last weekend, and it was awesome. I mean, a sold-out record for attendance for a women's hockey match. So pretty impressive, and hopefully just keep it going.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, how far ladies hockey has come in the last 30 years is truly incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Truly incredible. And it's pretty cool that they set the record, like you mentioned, with the attendance. And, I mean, it's a whole new, we dig hockey around here.
They are fun to watch. There's just no doubt.
Yeah.
And Natalie Darwitz has her, her touch in all of this. Natalie, obviously, just a superstar in everything that she's done, not only as a player, but as a person, too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard that about her for sure.
Well, Marcus, we have great sympathy for you, knowing that later today or tomorrow you're going to be getting off a plane in friggin' Tampa, Florida.
Poor guy. Jeez.
Oh, man, it's going to be nice to take off the trench coat, the mittens, and wear a polo and go to dinner. And
Will you come back and tell us stories of the golden circle in the sky? Will you do that?
Yeah. I'll let you know what color it still is. And
what is that intimidating orb in the sky?
Come back and tell us stories, please.
And don't forget to root for those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, Marcus, thank you very much for your time. Good luck on your road trip. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
All right, awesome. You guys have a good day.
Marcus Foligno joins us every couple of weeks as part of our Minnesota Wild Update, brought to you by Luther Kia of Bloomington.
They got to get a couple of these.
They got to get a couple of what?
Tampa and Florida are good
They're
clubs.
pretty good teams.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough road.
Oh, a couple of wins.
They got to get
Carolina.
At least one of those. Yeah, they got to get at least one of those.
You're looking for a couple of wins, Randy Shea.
Well, they're kind of buried a little bit. They need to get out of this.
I hear you. Well, they got healthy players checking in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hopefully things can get better.
Before we say goodbye, can I just say something real quick? I just want to say thank you to everybody who has taken part and contributed to my charity. Tonight is the night that we allocate our money, and we are going to be giving away over $1.1 million to cancer research and patient aid in Minnesota. It's our it's our night where we have all of the researchers and Patient Aid Project people come and present to our board of doctors and sponsors, and then we get to decide where that money goes and how best to help Minnesota's cancer community. So I just want to say thank you to you guys, because you're a big supporter of what we do, and I know Brad's been a part of my golf event, and hopefully I can get Marcus Foligno to come play golf at my event, and guys like that. Depot did last year, and it was awesome. But I just appreciate everybody, supporting this, because cancer's not going away, and we're doing our best to help Minnesotans get through all of this through research and Patient Aid projects. So.
Tell you what, Randy, we're proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah, great stuff, Randy.
Wonderful work that you do, and like you said, it ain't over yet. Well, we're gonna try to raise some more money on Saturday, right?
Yeah, we are. Pickleball on Saturday in Shakopee, and I don't think it's completely sold out yet. So if people are interested, they can go to randyshavercancerfund.org and check it out. But yeah, it's going to be a big day. And I don't know, Nick, if we're playing you guys right away off the bat, but I know you're likely in our bracket. So
can I tell you something about Josh?
At some point Saturday morning, you're going to taste defeat. So
here's the thing. Can I tell you something, Randy Shaver? And he's probably going to be mad at me that I'm letting this information leak.
You guys have been practicing, haven't you?
No, not at all.
Josh
haven't played in months.
Josh has been taking steroids.
Well, technically human growth hormone.
Oh man!
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh boy!
You should see those calves now after the human growth hormones.
Yeah, and I had limb lengthening surgery as well, and Botox. They threw the Botox.
So you're saying I won't recognize you?
No, not at all.
It can be like what was that kid in South Park when he got blown up? Jimmy Vollmer.
Yeah.
He's beating up his mother in his bedroom and things like that. All right, you guys, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Business has always been more.
The 93X Half-assed morning show.
Absolutely hammered.
On 93X.
Yes, my son. We have returned. Welcome back to the 93X Half-assed morning show. We're hanging around here at 8:32. It's been a hell of a deal so far. What do I got here now? The old personalized license plate bit. I never took an interest in such a thing. The personalized license plate.
I thought about it once. It wouldn't be anything anyone would recognize. Nobody would know they were personalized plates. Just something that was meaningful to me. It's just something that happened, and I just wanted to recognize it.
Sure.
Death in the family.
Sure.
And every combination I tried to get was already taken. So I wasn't able to do it. But so that's as close as I've come. But I'm very excited because I got my blackout plates. I ordered them the second they became available.
You've been talking about blackout plates like they're crack rocks.
I thought the Iowa ones were cool. And outside, Randy Shaver from Iowa, whatever. The blackout plates, now we got them. That's pretty sweet. Although somebody told me that I don't think they're cool. Apparently my opinion was wrong on them, but I do enjoy them.
Yeah, as long as you like them, who cares?
So here's where we're going next. The personalized license plate routine. You want to hear about the personalized plates that were rejected?
Oh, these are always fun.
Yeah, you remember right before, on Ultimate F-Off Week, right before Christmas, we talked about in Iowa, the Attorney General, I can't remember his exact...
Secretary of State
that's
for
Illinois. Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's Illinois? I thought it was Iowa.
Yeah, Illinois.
Illinois, okay. So the Secretary of State goes out and he read some of the plates. Remember we played that audio?
That was fantastic.
Some of the rejected license plates submitted for approval this year included Eat Butt, Boner, MILFs, Whoop Ass, D's Nuts, Poopsie, and Iowa Sucks.
I love that he couldn't get through some of it.
He had to, into a microphone, he had to say eat butt.
Well, he's the one that volunteered. I'm doing this.
He had to say boner.
Please don't have those.
Some folks love to express themselves in every possible way, including personalized license plates. Now, I can cover Ontario for you. Our friendly neighbors to the north, don't you know? Ontario released a list of rejected personalized plates. Now, I'm going to roll through these for you. Some of them are so stupid. In the year 2023, over 5,000 applications for personalized license plates were rejected in Ontario. And they get shot down for various reasons. Most of the time, it's due to one of these categories: religion, drugs, or alcohol related, is how it's stated here. Sometimes they get rejected for clarity and readability. And finally, abusive, obscene language and derogatory slang. The Chive, I believe, is where I fetched this. They went through, the folks at the Chive went through the entire 56-page list of rejected personalized plates from Ontario and then picked out what they thought were some of the best ones. Seinfeld's Ass Man gimmick.
We have that here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, a member of the Brotherhood was nice enough to send us the Ass Man New York plate.
Just for the record, the Seinfeld Ass Man idea was submitted again and rejected again. It's been every year since, I never watched Seinfeld. When did the Ass Man bit happen?
I think it was later in the run. It was meant for a proctologist, but got sent to Kramer by mistake. So the Kramer slapped on his car, and he's driving around. People are pointing, "Hey, the Ass Man's in town."
Now let me ask you this. Did the Ass Man Seinfeld episode happen before or after Billy Gunn became the Ass Man?
I would say before. Let me look that up, though.
Yeah, I'm here to pick up my new plates. My name's Kramer, Cosmo Kramer.
Kramer. All right.
All right.
Sign right here, please.
Okay, thanks. Ass Man. No, these don't belong to me. I'm not the Ass Man. I think there's been a mistake.
What's your name again?
Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer. You are the Ass Man.
No, I'm not the Ass Man.
Well, as far as the state of New York is concerned, you are.
So this aired April 27th, 1995.
Oh, that was before Billy Gunn became the Ass Man on WWF. And then, of course, if you're a longtime listener, you know Randy Shaver adopted that nickname. Late 90s. So it's traveled all over the world. Here we go. Ontario, their list of rejected personalized plates whittled down to what the Chive at least believed were the best. And some of these are ridiculous. This is a grown person. These are all adults. Or at least near there. When you're 16, can you get a personalized plate? You have to wait. I don't even know the rules.
I don't know. Do you have to be the license or the vehicle owner?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
Well, all of these people are close enough to grown, if not fully grown adults. There was somebody in Ontario who wanted their personalized license plate to read a wee-wee. The letter A, a space, W-E-E-W-E-E. A wee-wee.
It's dumb.
At least if it's a penis, you don't sound like you're 7. But what can you do? Are you dumb? A-R-E, the letter U, D-U-M-B. Are you dumb? All right. Dr. Pee-Pee.
Love it.
You like that one? Doctor.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, Dr. Pee-Pee is right here. Dr. Pee-Pee.
DR space and 2-letter P's, Dr. Pee-Pee. Possibly a urologist who wants everyone to know that that's what he does for a living. Did I get the right word? Urologist? Yeah. Mm-hmm. DVLSPWN. Devil spawn. Very intimidating for a Canadian.
That's pretty sweet.
Let me ask you guys this. Have you heard more and more people loosely refer to others as legends?
Oh, yeah. That's been huge.
That's become a thing, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
I've been, and I appreciate it, I've been called, specifically, whenever I text with Jordan Parisi, he says, "You're a legend, man." And at first I thought, wow, that's quite a compliment. And then it dawned on me, this might just be the latest slang term. So you're saying everyone's calling everyone else a legend now. Mm-hmm. Well, kind of takes some of the fire out of those Jordan Parisi tweets, but at the same time, okay. Because one of these rejected Ontario license plates, FN, Legend. Effing legend.
Nice.
Do you guys know the origin of this? Why is everyone calling each other legends now?
Just like because kind of a spawn of legendary. You know, like that was a legendary move.
Well, no, I'm not trying to find out
that's where
the
I think
definition
it came
of
from,
the word.
That's where I think it came from. And then it just slowly morphed into be like after like someone's name.
The one I've heard lately is him.
Yeah.
Like I'm him.
I am
He's him.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's one of those cyclical things. Like Epic was so big for a while. Everything was so epic.
gross.
Well, no, I understand. I just didn't know if there was a movie or a television show or a rock band or something that started it. I understand, slang and abbreviation. Okay.
You know what I'm glad went away? When everything was Uber. Remember those
dude,
days?
Same here. I hated that.
For a while, everything was Uber.
That just irritated the piss out of me. Another rejected Ontario license plate, personalized license plate, simply Go Suck It. GOSUCKIT. Go Suck It. Hell Yeah was rejected.
That'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like that.
Hell
Stone
Yeah
Cold.
was rejected. H, the number 3, LLYEAH. Hangover with the number 3 in place of the E. Hangover.
Yeah, but no drinking-related ones are going to pass.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate 401. Is that the area code, or someone hates their savings account?
That 401k.
I hate 401. Is that possibly
401.
It's a Rhode Island area code.
Oh, well, it doesn't really make sense since it's Ontario. Here's another drinking-related one that was rejected. Impaired. They just spelled out the word impaired.
Why would you want that?
I don't know. It reminds me of years ago when I was driving around downtown Minneapolis and I pulled up behind a vehicle and they had a bumper sticker a long time ago, so bear with me. The specifics might be lost at this point, but you'll get the overall message. The bumper sticker said something along the lines of, I won the Chug-a-Lug contest at Ronnie's Bar in Alexandria or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought, I don't know if I'd want a bumper sticker on my car advertising that I can drink a hell of a lot of beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No doubt that that's something to be proud of. Don't get me wrong. That's certainly something to be proud of. But to put the sticker on your car, I thought, you're asking for cops to maybe, think, well, I wonder if this guy's fresh off another Chug-a-Lug contest. So impaired got rejected. Jager bomb. JAGERBMB, Jager bomb. Kiss my gas.
That's cute.
Spelled out. Well, I guess they had to skip one of the S's in kiss. Kiss my gas. I don't even know if I can say this next one.
I wouldn't.
I mean, okay, I should rephrase that. I know I can't say the next one. Can I even spell it? I'm not going to do it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't.
Not going to do it. LMA000's laughing my ass off. Tired of that bit too. M space FKR. Come on.
That's worth a shot, right?
What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. The next rejected Ontario license plate, Mr. Caulk. CAULK.
He could do a lot of caulking in his line of work.
Well, maybe he's a plumber or something like
Right. Mr. Caulk. All right. Again, with the potheads, they just can't wait to tell you that they're potheads. 420 Blaze.
I feel like that one's like in every state someone tries to get that.
Oh, Wapple, I'm sure everything that I've read so far has
Probably
been,
all of them.
Yeah, this is not. Nothing is specific to Ontario. 420 Blaze, bro.
So cool.
What about this next one, Josh? Should I bother with this one?
I think if you spelled it, we'd be okay. I mean, because they let KQ say it. Yeah, I think you could spell it.
TITZNAZZ. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for right there. All right. Translate this one for me, young people who are constantly on social media. SNDNUDE5.
Send nudes.
Send nudes. Ontario said no to each and every one of those bastards right there.
Fun haters.
I'm gonna text send nudes to somebody today.
Just scroll through your phone and pick somebody at random. Don't look who it is, and then
I'll go to the last person that right here. Here we go. Randy Shaver.
You have to spell it with a Z though.
You'll probably get them.
Oh man, I haven't had a chance to check my text messages, but maybe. See, here's the thing. Whenever we've talked about personalized plates before, people will send in, well, I saw one douchebag that had this on his plate and that on his plate. I'd love to say them out loud, but I don't want this person to show up pissed off at the radio station. You see what I mean?
That's a good point.
I remember one time, I wasn't thinking, years ago, when I openly made fun of someone's personalized license plate, and they ended up calling the radio station.
dude.
So I didn't want that kind of, dust up with a friggin' stranger.
Half-assed morning show 93X.
All right, we're getting pretty close to getting the hell out of here. Ending this Wednesday broadcast of the Half-Assed Morning Show, but we'll be back tomorrow with what we're going to call the Thursday broadcast. We were talking about personalized license plates, vanity plates, whatever you want to call it. And I mentioned that I would love to read off all of these funny plates that our listeners have been sending in. I saw a guy with this plate. I saw a gal with that plate. But we don't need anyone showing up pissed off at the radio station because we're, singling them out. But I did receive one message from a listener, sent me a picture of a personalized plate, and it was from Arizona or somewhere far away. So I'll go ahead with this one. I'm sorry, but most of these are just so stupid. Especially the sexually related ones. What do you think? You're the only person that's ever gotten laid? Well, get over it. The sexual ones are the ones that just aggravate me. But here's one that this listener sent in. A grown person put this on their license plate. Anyone to 69? ANY 1269. Anyone to 69? So are you saying you will 69 with anyone who's willing to? Is that's the message you're trying to throw out to the average citizen? Anyone.
It's casting a wide net.
I mean, I am an absolute slut, but I have never said, look, I want a 69 with anyone who... what? I don't get that stance, Cubby.
Yeah, there was a time, though, I kind of think you would have agreed with that statement. There was a time in your life where...
With anyone?
Pretty much anyone.
Not anyone, for God's sake.
Well, how about this? If we had two lines, the ones you said yes to and the ones you said no to, the people in the no line would be a little lonely.
It would be shorter.
Yeah.
It would be shorter. Anyone to 69? You know what else folks are talking about on the internet? The stupid internet. Here you go. I'm going to put you on the spot. You ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For every year you remove from your life, you get $500,000. How many years would you give up?
I think probably 2.
Now, this is
like 5 max.
What they mean by that is they shave this off the end of your life. It's not like you can say, "Oh, I'll erase 1999 because I went to jail." That's not what you're shaving years off the end of your life, and every year you remove, you get $500,000. How many years would you give up?
I could be good just one.
One would be all right.
I can make $500,000 work for quite a while.
Pardon me?
I can make $500,000 work for quite a while.
Yeah, but if you had, let's say, $1 million, you wouldn't have to work as much while you're alive.
True.
Yeah, and honestly, with how expensive everything is now, I feel like $500,000 wouldn't last you like longer than 3-4 years.
Because I think
if
the idea would be you don't have to work, or you can retire a lot younger.
Mm-hmm. Well, then and it sounds like sometimes the later years aren't all that great. So screw it. I'll take 10 off.
You're not taking
Whoa,
10.
I
Give
was
me $5
thinking
million.
like 5.
You're
Well,
not
now,
taking.
You're assuming you'd live to an old age.
That's a good point.
Maybe
Yeah.
you get hit by a bus, and maybe it's
Right.
on purpose, and maybe I'm driving.
Whoa.
That went in a direction I didn't anticipate.
Because Josh took out a big life insurance policy on Dana.
The most popular answer is 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think 2.
I would go ahead and do 2. Give me a smooth $1 million. Maybe I blow it. Maybe I don't. but I've got $1 million sitting there and I didn't have to do jack squat.
Yeah, give me $1 million and I'll learn what investing means by talking to somebody smarter than me.
Right.
Because I don't know what it means, really.
Yeah, I think 2 seems to be the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. About 18% said they'd give up. So 40% of people, that's the most popular answer, said 1 or 2. 18% said 3 or 4. Another 18% said no deal. They wouldn't be able to give up. They wouldn't be willing to give up any years.
Well, I'd imagine that person has a pretty good income.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they can make their rent.
I mean, how long would it take to earn just $500,000, much less $1 million?
Wow.
You know? Boy.
Can't even imagine.
I can't count that high.
No.
I'd be like right there, just 15 years for me, please. Let me wipe out 15
Let me
years.
break it down this way for you. Generally speaking, they say, if you have a good-paying job, one that earns $100,000 a year, you'd have to work 40 years to make $4 million. Or you could give up 8 years of your life via this little gimmick and not have to work at all. Think about it that way. Maybe it'll change your answer.
I mean, obviously, yeah, you take the risk that you don't know when you're going to go.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It could be 3 years from now, that's it, you know?
Right.
But you just kind of hope that you can make it to an old age and, you know, retire at a young age.
Yeah, if you knew you were going to be on your deathbed at like 98, it's like, yeah, get rid of 4 years and then I don't have to be sitting in the bed.
Shoot, more than that.
Yeah.
Did you know that scientists have created some kind of AI system that can predict when you die?
I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah, that's tempting, but I think I'd also stay away from it.
And they say it's apparently accurate as all hell.
Next Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What if it said something like anywhere under 50? I would just be on edge.
But, you know, maybe you'd change your life in some positive ways.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe
that's how they get you, though, is you changed your life and that's what killed you.
You know what, Ashley? Maybe you'd learn to live. To really live and just embrace every day. Not take things for granted.
Just live my life full of love.
So nobody wants in on this? Nobody wants to sign up and find out when they're going to die from this scientific AI machine?
I think in a moment of weakness, I would sign up, yes. Right now, I'd like to say I wouldn't, but I think I would. Nick, think all the people you could tell off.
Man, that would be something.
I mean, you know how it's stopping you now. But imagine more people you could tell
No, that
off.
would be something. There would be something so freeing about that if I, took this test or whatever you have to do and if I found out I got 2 years to go. That'd be one hell of a last 24 months right there, I'll tell you right now. I would be buck wild.
Oh, yeah.
Time of my life and telling everybody that I hate exactly how I feel about them, not holding back at all. Josh and I almost died last week due to a bird strike, and we were not in an airplane.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's true.
What?
I don't know what happened. I didn't see that if these birds were hired by rival radio stations, but Josh and I were driving side by side on, I think they call it 94 westbound, and a couple of birds, big fat bastards, I don't know what they were, eagles or hawks or something, just came diving down right at our stinking motor vehicles. It was an odd-ass moment where I thought for a second, well, this is how we go.
Dude.
We just had, and at the last second, luckily...
That was as close as you could come.
That's terrifying.
Well, the sumbitch looked like he was going to come right through my windshield and kill me.
It's cute that you guys were driving next to each other, by the way.
We were side by side.
Yeah, I went for his and then mine, and then one of them, Nick saw this too, one of them flew off and turned around and said, you know what, F you, and it came back at me and took off.
Bird strike.
Yeah, I've never come that close to hitting a bird that big.
That was about it for us right there.
Glad you guys are okay.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Yeah, I don't think you mean it either.
No, especially not after Josh more or less said he wants to run you over with
That was for comedy.
Run you over and kill you with a school bus.
It just kind of came out. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from.
Did we do anything about Monster Jam?
Not yet. Not today.
Speaking of big vehicles, right now in the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text DRAGON. 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 Again, with the... right.
We're all being mature.
I get it.
We're all mature.
Text DRAGON to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to Monster Jam February 17th and 18th at U.S. Bank Stadium. The prize is furnished by Feld Entertainment. We always love when the Monster Truck Show comes to town. So good luck with that. Get your text hand ready to try and get lined up for those tickets.
Happy birthday to Glenda from your big sister and Mom and Dad's favorite, Captain Lovin' Jesus. Happy 11th birthday to the awesome Blue Duck Tech Jesus from Mom, Beer and Pizza Jesus. And happy birthday to Leo, turning the big 05 today from Dad, HVAC Delivery Jesus.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.